Hiya everybody, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. You're watching twitch.tv/ hurt my elbow there. You're watching twitch.tv/ 10:30. I'm 10:30, I'm live. Is everything alright? Are you alright? Tell me all about what's going on, man. The sun's out, isn't it? So that's something. You know, makes a big difference. Here, will we get all this open and airy? Let's get this open and... Oh, look at that. You can't really see much of a difference. But, look, sun's out, toot toot. Is it taps off weather? Goodness me, I've forgotten about the bubble blasts. CI4ND, thank you very much for subbing using Amazon Prime. I love the Prime subs. CI4ND, thank you very much for that. How's it going? Welcome in. How's it going and all that? I'm going to be going up the loft. So, I was just making sure my phone was on charge. Listen, I've got a brand new app, right, to try out live phone streaming to you. So, we could try that out today. That's something. That could be quite exciting because, you know how the app that I use to, you know, whenever I strap my phone to my head and go in the loft and do all of those sorts of things, the app that I use is from Elgato, right? And I've had a lot of bother with this app. I've been messaging back and forward with Elgato for the longest time, saying various things. How come it disconnects all the time? How come if it disconnects and then I open my app, it doesn't reconnect all the time, but sometimes it does? How come when I close the app and then I open it again, it doesn't remember what camera lens I was using or the resolution of the broadcast? How come all of these things, Elgato? How come? You've got one thing you're supposed to do. How come it doesn't do all this stuff? Right? So, I paid for a lifetime subscription. I think it cost me like £25 for an app. Because most of the time it does work, just sometimes there's slight teething difficulties. So, what did I do? I contacted Elgato and we've had a lot of back and forth between me and the support staff in Elgato. And then, a couple of days ago, woke up, read some streamer news, and I found out that they're just discontinuing the app. They're just like, fuck it. So, I've got another competing alternative app. I'm going to try that out, but that won't be the stream. I'll probably try that out off stream, but I just thought I needed to show it to you. I'm going to blow my nose, right? But see, when I do that, I don't want you looking at me, so I'll be back in like 6 seconds. How's that for good timing? Listen, everybody, welcome in. How's it going? At the start of the stream, what I like to do is share good news. So if you've got any good news, big or small, please put it in the chat. Sorry I wasn't on yesterday. Rye3D, how's it even going? Thank you very much for the sub, Rye3D. Welcome in. How's it even going? Also, what's even happening? If anybody's got any good news, I would love to hear what it is. So please stick it in the chat and we can all like share a good news. Don't know if you know, right, but on the internet it's mainly bad news. Into everywhere you look, oh, it's terrible bad news. But not here.
Here, I'm in charge of what gets shared and stuff. So, if you've got any good news, please put it in chat. I was right about something. Do you remember a few days ago when everybody was worried about the Donald Trump tariffs? Do you remember on stream I was talking about it? And I said, I reckon that what he's doing is the thing that he's done multiple times before, where he'll announce some horrible scenario and then the markets crash and then all of his pals will buy assets at the low price. And then he comes out and he says, oh, I'm going to undo the bad decision that I've just announced. And then the markets stabilise again and all of his pals have profited from like corruption, basically. About 3 streams ago, I predicted this was going to happen. Didn't I? Nobody else was talking about that. I didn't read it on tweets or anything. I predicted that that was going to happen. As far as I know, I'm the first and only person to have said that. So if anybody's got access to that, I would love to just post it with a date next to it and gloat that I'm a fucking visionary. I'm a prophet. What was the Mitch Hedberg thing? I'm a peripheral visionary. I can see way into the future, but just off to the side. I don't know if that sounds like Mitch Hedberg. Sounds a bit more like my Lynch impression. B2 Tech, how you doing? Welcome in, Market Bubbles. I appreciate that, B2 Tech. I appreciate your Market Bubbles. And I appreciate all you for joining me here live. Once again, we're sharing good news. If you've got any good news, stick it in the chat. We fucking need a bit of good news around here, everybody, don't we? We need a bit of good news. Let me see who's in. Hello, Skywatcher77. Good afternoon. Neil TB87. Roll Duke. How's it going? Avgas. Skywatcher says, a work-along stream for me, power washing out the back. Amazing. Here's what I'm thinking I'm going to do when you're power washing. I'm thinking I'm going to strap my phone to my head, right? I'm going to go up the loft because, everybody, there's been a massive 3D printer that's been sitting in this room for the past year, like a really big one, right? And off-stream, I dismantled it and took all the big components bit by bit up my rickety ladder. And I've stuck it in the loft, and it's all kind of there, but I've not switched on, don't know if it works, don't know if it's leveled, don't know if it's even will connect to my internet, don't know anything about any of that. But it's in the loft, and I need it working for 2 separate projects that I'm currently working on. So what I'm going to do is try to use for ages, because I've not spoke to you for a long time, everybody. I hope everybody's doing all right. And then I think what we're going to do is go up the loft and just basically thinking about. I'm just noticing some. So I'm multi-streaming on YouTube as well, right? And the quality of comments between Twitch and YouTube are exceptional. So somebody called Peter Avery, who's watching on YouTube, that's just contributed 3 valuable words. The sun's gay. Peter, welcome in. How's it going, YouTube? I don't think we've got any mods on YouTube. I don't even know how that works. Peter then asks, is this pre-recorded? It is. It's pre-recorded. The sun's gay and this is pre-recorded. But welcome in, Twitch people, my actual friends, good people. If you're watching this anywhere else, move over to Twitch, man. It's a lot better and we can moderate you and I can monetize your eyeballs over there. So thank you very much for that. Skywatcher, all the very best with your power washing. John the Human, welcome in. Ultra Wido. Avgas says, good news of the day includes things like, I got a job yesterday, and I think today is the last actual day it will snow here. Avgas, is any of that true? All the very best. Time to upgrade HAL 3000 with some RGB. Well, I need to put his lens back on. Base Embrace, Rachel chopped up the bin jobbies. So the bin went out last night, and it got emptied. So Rachel went in with a spade, stuck the bin out, it got emptied, so that's wonderful because we've got a whole load of garden waste that still needs to go in. Ultra Wido, it's not the Video Ninja one because I didn't find that so reliable. I think the guy's cool and all that, but see, using it all the time, kind of unreliable. So the app that I was going to use is called Droid Cam. So for the longest time, Droid Cam wasn't available on an iPhone. And so I just stopped looking, but it turns out you can now get Droid Cam on an iPhone. Sorry if you're hearing clicks. I've got a switch here and I'm sort of fidgeting with it, but I'm very aware you'll be hearing it, so I won't do that. I'll stick that down. But it's a good noise. These are my hook switches for telephones, because we've still got that project to do, but I need to fix the 3D printer before I do that project. Night Death says, do you have Windows 11? Samsung, let's connect with the phone app. Alright, nice one. I've got an iPhone and Windows 11, Night Death, but I'm going to try out this Droid Cam. Not today, not while on stream though, because I think it'll be kind of boring for you lot, but I just remembered when I came on, I'm like, oh, aye. Will they give you back your money? Nah, I don't think so. I should have made a wee cup of tea. NH Henry says, good news, cleaned my desk and now your face is sitting on my nice clean desk. We'll need to do some scientific research into how desks accumulate so much crap so quickly. Aye, I cleaned my desk quite recently. Now I've got like stuff on it. Oh, look at all of this. A big pack of switches. Don't know. Various things. Poop bags. But you're right, any flat surface will just accumulate all sorts of pish. Rye3D says, good news, it's Record Store Day this Saturday, and I'm very excited for some of the new releases. I do enjoy a physical release, Rye3D. That's cool. Here everybody, if you want to support musicians, and God knows they deserve your support, Record Store Day is on Saturday. Go to your physical record shop, buy things. President Muffley says, good news, I've got a cold. That is bad news, but it means I'm not working very hard from home and it's sunny. You've got a cold? Get the wee Polish cans out, Muffley, man. Yes, taps half, man. Roll and Sausage is in. Hello, Roll and Sausage. My good news is going to Ghost Stories yesterday and then going to the park today. I know all about that because I went to both of those things with you. Here, everybody, Roll and Sausage and I yesterday went to Ghost Stories, which is a play by Andy Nyman and one of the guys for League of Gentlemen. I keep saying Reece Shearsmith, but it turns out it isn't Reece Shearsmith. It's one of the other guys that looks fucking exactly like him. Some other guy. But it's good. Fucking scary. Pablo Diablo is terrifying. See to see it. Jeremy Dyson, thank you very much. See to see it in person in a theatre. Oh my god. But I can recommend it, everybody. It's in Glasgow just now. It didn't look as if it was sold out. We went to the matinee showing and it was really good. Llama Chan's in. How's it going, Llama Chan? It's wonderful to see you. Llama says, good news, Beeb's new cage is built and ready to go. He's just getting used to it being in the room for a few days. Amazing. So everybody, Llama's wee birdie called Beeb, I don't think he can fly around and stuff as much because he's getting a wee bit older and things. So Llama has just got him a big new amazing cage so that he's got more room to like just chill out and be a nice wee cool birdie. So I think that's cool and I want to see Beeb in his new cage. Welcome in JB Script, John the Human, how's it going? Two Crooked Fingers, how's it going? B2 Tech, I appreciate the sub, welcome in. Here everybody, if you've got any good news, stick it in the chat, please. Basin Bray says a lot of people have been talking about that for a long time. Well, I didn't hear them, but I made a prediction on this stream. I should do weekly predictions. Anyway, sorry to rustle up your stuff. Hello, Roscoe. A cold wind blows through the city. Some say that the spirit of Glasgow has returned. Roscoe, are you back in the country? Are you even still in? Because it was ages ago that you wrote that. Once again, I made a big deal of it when the news came in, but massive congratulations, Roscoe, for winning the Spirit of Glasgow Billy Connolly Amazing Award. Incredible stuff, man. I was watching it, I'm like, I fucking know that guy. I think he's away now, but fuck it, man. Fuck it. Stand up, everybody. Amazing. Amazing. That was surreal for me to watch. And I didn't have anything to do with it. So it must have been a mindfuck for you to watch, man. Very, very, very well deserved. Absolutely outstanding. Oh, aye. And loads of people came to my house. Llama Chan, Funkle, Ad, Taff, That was all he used, wasn't it? Imagine I accidentally forgot one. Imagine I accidentally forgot a person and they're sitting here watching like that. Like, I think that was it. They all came to my house and it was amazing. Llama, hello Funkle, how's it going? Llama got to see the big bag of cunts. I'd got to sit in the chair and I got to hang around with some amazing people. They all got to clap Fred. I gave Big Taff Man a magic trick. Funkle and I were talking about Game Boy cameras and stuff. I had loads of fun. I was so excited. See, because I'm like older and stuff now and everything's a bit shite and stuff, I'm kind of jaded and kind of hardened when it comes to like just general emotions and things. However, see, seeing a big car of my internet pals show up in front of my house, I was all giddy. I was like waving like Forrest Gump, man. Fucking flapping my hands about and shit like that. Oh, it was amazing. So all of that lot came in. If I had my shit together, I'd show you photos of it and stuff. But and so they were up to celebrate Cade's birthday, and that was really cool, man. And so we all went to M&D's, right? The English came, and I took them to M&D's. It was either that or Summer Lee, right? So the next time he's, well, English and Taff, but he's basically English now as well. Next time he's up, I'll take his other places as well. So we went to Amazonia and M&D's, and they looked at like wee monkeys and birds and stuff like that, and it was cool, man. It was actually good. And then later that night, we went out to a big karaoke with all of Cade's amazing cool pals and stuff like that. It was great. So it was wonderful meeting everybody, and it was cool because you never know how this stuff's going to go. See people you've met on the internet and then you meet them in real life. Sometimes it just doesn't vibe, but it vibed. It was great. I had a wonderful time, and it was cool just hanging out with pals. It was brilliant. And then I won't go into detail too much, but know how for a couple of years I've sort of been struggling with agoraphobia and things like that. That night, it was total baseline. So I went out to a restaurant, sat down, had a meal. Is it alright that this music's still on? I can stop the music. By the way, for the music, it's my mate Paul that makes the music. He's SoundCloud and YouTube's in the chat there. Llama says, it felt so normal even though we'd never met. Aye, 100%. 100%. It was really cool. So I had a great time. I really enjoyed it. And the head pish that I usually have in big groups just wasn't there. It just wasn't there, and I was able to just chill out and fucking be a normal human being. I really liked it. Will I keep Paul's music on? I'll keep it on. Let me know if anything's bad. So Llama was here, and Llama got to experience the ladder, which is fucking terrifying. First, a big clatter just came from a room next door, but there isn't a room next door. That's like the outside of the house. Are you okay? I think it's Pipes. I think Pipes back. I'm just going to ignore that, right? What's the best that can happen if I investigate that? I'm just going to ignore that. I dropped the tooth squisher, right? Cool. As long as you're alright. So Llama got to go up a ladder. Everybody just had a good time. And it was all just brilliant. Also, congratulations, Roscoe. It's amazing. We don't claim the sun as gays. The moon is gay as fuck, though. The moon is quite gay. But I like it in a good way. We should start a beef with the YouTube crew. Aye, everybody. So, we've got the YouTube crew currently watching, and we've got the Twitch crew currently watching. Right now, I would like you to both battle for my favour, right? Right now, I'm leaning on the Twitch crew as like my most favourite of both audiences, right? So what I'm saying, YouTube guys, you need to buck it up, and you know, it's up to you as to how you want to do that, but it would be wonderful if I could both have you compete, vying for my attention. Whitfell, thank you very much for subbing. I'll 3D print you in a minute. Whitfell, thank you very much for subbing. How's it going? I wish you would 3D print me. I'll send you a scan that I've got, right? I've made an STL, and you can. Anyway, let's get to the bottom of the chat. Everybody, once again, if you've got any good news, stick it in the chat. Beneath Headphones says, good news. I counted the cans I've picked up over the past 3 days and it was exactly 100. Amazing, Beneath Headphones, and congratulations. Have you seen the people with the mad, like, crucibles and stuff in their back garden, and they can smelt aluminium cans and cast them into wee ingots and all of that? I'm not suggesting you get into that, but I'd be tempted to get into that, or at least fall asleep watching a big YouTube playlist of cunts that have done that. Also, congratulations on litter picking, Beneath the Headphones. See, every time you mention that you've achieved a good goal in litter picking, it makes me feel good when I read it, as if I've done the good act, and I haven't. So, thanks very much for allowing me to sort of vicariously feel good about myself by reading the good deed that you've done. I'm getting a lot out of that, so thanks very much, Beneath the Headphones. Upstairs Down says, more clicks, please. It's good, isn't it? Hello, Zabalbus, welcome in. Zabalbus, I won't go into detail because you don't need to know, but Zabalbus is massively helping out on Pip's film. I just want to publicly say thank you very much, Zabalbus. We're all very excited about all of that. Lama says, fuck, I should have left something secretly in the streaming room. Aye. I mean, I was a bit weirded when I saw Ad sitting at this seat, because I didn't know he was doing that. That must have happened when we were upstairs. So when I saw the photo, I was like, ah. Burniston Butcher, how's it going? Thank you very much for the bubbles, Burniston Butcher. I hope you're having a good time. Here, the sun's out, everything's looking alright, and how good is the internet sometimes? Record Store Days actually fucked the True Small Indie labels. So, alright, sorry to, I don't know much about it. I buy stuff from your small indie labels and independents. Bowdy, I didn't. A light synth, I'll check that out. I really want to see Ghost Stories and Inside Number 9 show. The only thing the UK has over Ireland is the quality of stage shows and gigs available. Sucks over here. Well, all the very best. I think your Blind Boy gigs are a lot cheaper though. Blind Boy tickets over here are now about fucking 70 quid or whatever. Whereas apparently in Ireland, you could just go to like Vicar Street and he's there all the time. I might be wrong. But I'm looking forward to going to see Blind Boy, and I'm not moaning about the ticket price because he's good. And I paid the ticket, it's fine. Also, I don't think it is 70 quid. Maybe a wee bit cheaper. I'm not saying anything. I like him a lot. I think he's fucking brilliant. I'd gladly pay that amount of money. It's a big theatre. So Ghost Stories, apparently the people that wrote it have got something called Psychic coming. So I want to go and see that. I'm a big fan of Andy Nyman. I've been following him since the Derren Brown stuff that he did on Channel 4. And then he sort of directed most of the Derren Brown stage show, and he's a co-writer for all of that. So it was wonderful to go to see that. And it was great to spend time with Rachel as well. Really enjoyed it. And then we went to the park today with the Dougs, because the Dougs have been neglected, because for the past week, I've been working big sort of 12-hour days across different jobs. So I was a wee bit pooped, and I'd not seen the dogs all week. Rachel's been home, but I've not seen the dogs. And so it was good to have a big day in the park. Really enjoyed it. Chameleon, welcome in. Afternoon, folks. My instructor told me today that practical driving tests are basically all booked until about February next year. And that's kind of taking the wind out of my sails. Chameleon, apparently, I was reading something, I don't know how true this is because it was on the internet and how people on the internet are liars, but I was reading something on the internet about what just happened there. Oh, nice one, Avgas, thanks for the £5, mate. Thank you very much. And because you did that on Ko-fi, I get every penny of it, so thanks very much. Appreciate it, cheers. Chameleon, somebody was saying on the internet that bots have been automatically booking driving test slots, and so what's happening is then the people who are operating the bots are selling those slots to folk or something like that. Apparently there's some sort of corruption involving automated bots and driving tests. I read the headline, I was like, alright, but I didn't sort of dial further into it. So that's maybe what's going on there, Chameleon. Or maybe it is all just booked up. I had fucking Ticketmaster queue to get a driving test. So apparently that's a thing. I don't know where that is. or how true it is, but read it multiple times now. So, cool, man. Cool, that's just something else we need to fucking navigate. Nice one. Anyway. Aye, amazing work, Roscoe, man. Just absolutely brilliant. Lama says, I was telling the lads in the car about it on the way up, well proud. The bag of cunts. Roscoe doing the thing. Aye, fucking Billy Connolly saying Roscoe's name and all that, and like mentioning all his stuff and things. My God. Fucking hell. Just trippy shit, man. Absolute trippy shit. And very well deserved as well. Basin Brace says, saw Pitbull saying Glasgow baked goods are shite yesterday. Comment. Aye, well. So, I get my, well, it's not quite baked goods, right? But I get my rolling sausage from a place, and I jumped in Pip's car, and let's see if I can find this. Aye, it's that. I jumped in Pip's car, and we typed in the name of the place to go and get a rolling sausage. But when we typed in the name of the place, I was like on my phone because I was trying to deal with some other stuff and figure out where we were going after that. And I looked up, and where we arrived to get the rolling sausage wasn't the place that I had in mind. So I was like, alright. It was like a different branch of this same place. And we went in, we got a rolling sausage, and it wasn't great. But then, about a week later, Rachel sent me this, and this is the place that I took Pip to get a rolling sausage. Pip and Cade. And if I click this, you'll be able to see it. I'll need to stop Paul's music, though, so you can hear this. So this is why he thinks that. But there are other places that do better baked goods that aren't like this. Full screen.
Chat Inferno. Thanks to Jordan, the manager. So let's try it. See if it's 10 out of 10 banging or 10 out of 10 stinking. Ten out of 10 banging. Let's try some in chatting.
Who do you think he's saying?
10 out of 10 banging.
So, listen, here's the deal. See if Pip says that our baked goods are shite. He's fucking wrong, because it's well documented on the internet that our baked goods are 10 out of 10 banging. 10 out of 10 banging. So Pip's wrong if he's like pure coming up here and badmouthing our baked goods. I'm not having that. And Tracy isn't having it either. So that's where I took Pip and Cade. Didn't even meet the other one is like, is good. We went to that one, it was actually a bit shite. So it is what it is. It is what it is. I've got 5 emails just came through all at the one time. I'm in a state of panic perpetually just now because I'm working about 4 different jobs, doing my stream, doing some BBC shifts, but I'm struggling for BBC shifts, so they're cropping up on random days that I don't usually work. So, and all the BBC stuff's in a time of transition just now, right? So every time I go in, it's like a bit different from before. I'm producing Pip's feature film, and all of that is ramped up immediately. So we're looking at a crew of about 25 people. And that's interesting. Am I on the Twitch homepage? That's interesting. And also, I'm building stuff for the escape room. Remember, I was in the spaceship thing? So my head's really filled up with stuff just now. But I'm going to continue streaming through and having a good time because I absolutely adore streaming. Absolutely love it. So I just thought we'd have a wee chat because it's been ages since I've spoke to you all because I'm in the middle of juggling all these things. And it's all going really good. Everything's going perfectly. But it's a lot of work and it's long hours. But quite soon I'll be finished the escape room stuff. And I'm quite proud of what I did. It's working nicely. And then I've got the other things, so I need to do all of that. Quite soon all of that will be finished and nice. And it feels good. And then mainly I'll be focusing on Pip's film, because we've still got a couple of things to figure out for that. Need to figure out crew lodgings is the big thing. So if anybody happens to have a giant fucking house in or around Oban or Argyll and Bute and wants to put up a crew of about 25 folk, this production ends up being a lot larger than what I thought it was going to be. Steve Zazoo, how do you do? Thank you very much for coming in. Afternoon, 10:30 in chat. Good to see you back on stream. The escape room stuff looked class. Well, I'm going to go in once it's all finished and painted and show you what I did, because it's very exciting, man. Got a small house in Liverpool you can use. Is not helpful, Pablo Diablo, unless it's a small portable house, in which case, i.e. if you drive it up, that would be great. That would be great. Right, let me get to the bottom of the chat, because there's different things happening. No, nobody's mistake, Pablo, I appreciate. What about Rothsay? Aye, maybe Echo Stamp. How far away is that? I feel like... Is that less than an hour away? Get a spare room in Reading? Although I'm going to remember that, and quite soon I'm going to just show up at your door with a half ounce and a glass bottle of Iron Brew. Aye, so sorry, I'm talking about 5 different things. It was amazing seeing all the crew coming up. Oh, it was really cool just spending time with people that are sound. Avgas says, 10:30, I feel like it's relevant to let you know that it's purely because of this stream that I got the job. It's just made me that much better of a person, which clinched it. Avgas, firstly, congratulations on your job, and secondly, I've now got it in writing that it's because of this stream that you got the job, which means I think I'm owed, what is it, 13% of like a garnish in your wages, right? Because like a finder's fee sort of thing. Because if it wasn't for this stream, you wouldn't have got the job, if you think about it like that. Think about it like that. So we could set up like a direct debit or something. It's up to you how we do it. It's up to you how we do it. I think it's quite fair. My goodness, 87-year-old Duke, thank you very much for subbing, bubble, bubble, bubble. And Steve Zazoo, thank you very much once again for subbing. And sorry, Hunter, how are you doing? Thank you very much for subbing. Did you let the English touch your belt? No, I did not. I did not. That stayed up there. I mean, they're cool and stuff, but they touched fucking everything else. It was a wee bit like, have you seen that film Mother? And like people are in her house and she's like, all right, and then somebody else is in the house and she's like, all right, oh fuck. It was a bit hellish like that, but except for that, it was brilliant. It was really good. I really liked Mother. It was terrifying though, wasn't it? I touched so much. Dando once told me that, I don't think she did it on stream. Fuck it, I'm going to tell you a secret about Dando, right? Dando says that when she's at public landmarks, she likes to like just lick her finger and like touch whatever it is that's a public landmark, just to like just put a wee bit of DNA on it, just like her DNA on things. I was like, all right, and that was years ago, and I still think about that every time she's over, like that. So I'd imagine there's lots of just English spit all over my room. And fair play to them, man. Fair play to them. Anyway. How we going, everybody? Aye, so I took them all to M&D's and it was great. We saw some like snakes and some other stuff. Hello Pursue, welcome in. Pursue has good news. My music is coming on leaps and bounds as a soundtrack and themes for Scottish prehistoric creatures. Amazing. The visual side's already rolling and coming together. Pursue, that sounds class. That sounds like a really fun, cool project. That's brilliant. Oh my god, we've got a bloody hype stream. Ian McLeod says, keep streaming. I will keep streaming. Ian C, for as long as you keep coming in to watch me, I will keep streaming. thank you very, very much for subbing using Amazon Prime. I love Prime subs. Here, everybody, have a wee look, see if your Prime sub's ready yet. You might have like Discord, Nitro, or Twitch Turbo, or whatever it's called, right? So you might not even realise your Prime sub's ready again. Have a wee look, and if it's ready, I'll take it, man. I love Prime subs. Ian McLeod, thank you very much for giving us your Prime sub. I appreciate that. Yes, it's Bland. How's it going? Thank you very much. How's it going? You've subbed for 3 months at tier 1. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's really sound. Thank you very much. I've been spending a lot of time with Yes, It's Bland. So it's Yes, It's Bland who runs the escape room that I was telling you about. And they're just cool, man. It's a cool setup. So check out, it should be opening quite soon, like in the next few weeks. It's called Nomad Escape. And it's a cool, independently run, brilliant setup that they've got in there. And just sound people as well. So maximum respect, Yes It's Bland, for like a cool fun thing. So Yes It's Bland and a partner have been working solid for about 40 days now. Big 12-hour days, fixing stuff, getting all up and running. And so I think when it's open, I think it would be cool to do a stream and to like take you as a tour round about it, because it's just quite a large, involved, giant project that involves making, thinking about stuff, game design, a bit of industry and enterprise as well, and creativity and everything else. So it'd be cool to like do a wee tour or something like that once it's up and running. I'd be really looking forward to that. Foxtrot Tango Whiskey says, what's the deal with streaming, pal? What do you need to have to create a streaming setup? Does it cost a lot of dosh? Cheers, fella. I would recommend, before a good camera and stuff like that, good audio, right? So a lot of people that are watching a stream just require sound, right? A lot of people that are watching the stream aren't actually watching, they'll be doing something else, but they need to be able to hear you properly. A good camera and lights you can buy later on. The biggest thing is finding an audience. So you can be the best streamer in the world, but if you just start on Twitch, nobody's going to know to watch you. So if you've got an audience elsewhere and you can bring them over, if you're big on Instagram or something like that, you can tell all of them to come and watch you on Twitch or YouTube or whatever. But finding that audience is the hardest bit. And I've been really lucky in that I've managed to get it to work, and a big bit of it is just luck and circumstance and opportunity and stuff. But give it a shot. Don't spend too much money until you know that you really want to do it with your life. Oh my god. Chunky Salad Yo, thank you very much, Chunky Salad Yo, for gifting 10 subs. So for every sub you give out, you get 8 seconds of Bubble Blast or something like that. I don't even know how much it is. Chunky Salad Yo, uh-oh, I just clicked a thing. Chunky Salad Yo, thank you very, very much for doing that. My mouse is now all covered in bubble juice, so I've just accidentally clicked a thing that has made my chat just totally disappear. Chunky Salad Yo, thank you very, very much for that. What a legend. And because my chat's disappeared, I've forgotten now where I was in the chat. My goodness me. If you happen to have just got a gift sub from Chunky Salad, and if you happen to be in chat just now, please feel free to say thanks. I really appreciate that. Thanks very much for helping me do all of this with my life. I was just talking to a friend earlier, and Twitch can be a bit shite at times, and Twitch can be really cool at times as well. And we were talking about how just wonderful things are, and you get the bad, but then I've been relying on it for friendships and for to pay rent and all of that, like at a literal sense. But it's one of the best things that's ever happened to me. So thank you very much for supporting me, Chunky Salad Joe and everybody else. And Rewild, thanks very much for subbing. Welcome in. Bubbles worthy of a sub. Thank you very much. Fuck's sake, we're on a level 5 hype train. That's not happened for a long, long time. So cheers, everybody. I hope you're all having a good time. Right, I've just remembered where I was in the chat. Rachel dropped this tooth scoosher. My goodness me. Upstairs Down, thanks for gifting a sub to Lumperly. Upstairs Down, that was a scoosh for you, and it was a scoosh for Lumperly. I hope you're both doing brilliant. The tooth scoosher, yes, it's an irrigation device. Anyway, I've sent messages in both chats already, so I don't know where I fall. I don't know either, Cosmotoro, you need to pick a side. So Balba says Twitch crew are wanks. Dearie me. YouTube goes up slides and then has to go back down the ladder because they're not brave enough. Aye. So shots fired from the Twitch side there. We need like a captain of either side. Lamachan, you be the captain of the Twitch side. We need a captain of the YouTube side. Seriously though, if you're watching me on YouTube, get over to Twitch, it's a lot better. Anyway. Funkle Albert, you can buy aluminium ingots on eBay, I believe. YouTube crew are a bunch of wee ingots. Do you reckon 1030 just harvests our good news and then goes and tells people he's done it all? Aye. A lot of people think I'm a new father, which I'm not. A lot of people think I've passed my driving test, which I haven't. All of that sort of stuff. I'm going to get to the bottom of the thing. Chunky Salad says, yo dude, how big is the GVC monitor behind you? It's bloody huge. Aye, I think it's like 28 inches maybe. Nah. Aye, maybe 24. But it currently doesn't work, so I've modified it. Sorry it's taking me a long time to get to your message, but I just read chat for top down. So I've modified this to take an RGB signal, but then a couple of weeks ago, it just sort of stopped working. So what I need to do when I've got time, and I don't have time just now, but what I need to do is open it up and replace all the capacitors and stuff in it and have a wee diagnosis of what's up. So usually all my stream alerts and stuff pop up here, so when somebody subs, their profile picture's here for a few seconds and all of that sort of stuff, but it's like currently a work in progress. Could 1030 become the next Scottish streamer to be banned on Twitch by Blind Boy? Roscoe is still fuming. Aye, so if I was Roscoe I'd be fuming as well. So I think Blind Boy doesn't stream on Twitch anymore. And I think Blind Boy's mods maybe just weren't the best people for the job. So I'll side with Roscoe on this, up until the point where Roscoe's like, go fuck yourself or something, because he was treated very unfairly. And then I'm like, aye, right, alright. But I think Roscoe knew it was like a one-way thing, so he's like, well, in for a penny, in for a pound. But I think Roscoe went on a Blind Boy stream. Blind Boy, as far as I know, is sound as fuck. I think he's brilliant. But his mods... Roscoe went on a Blind Boy stream, he's like, alright, is that a looper thing? Because he had a bit of hardware stuff. Roscoe's got the same thing. So he's like, oh, I've got a question about the hardware. And the mods were like that. Well, just Google the question. I think Roscoe... I'm misremembering all this, but I think Roscoe's like, who the fuck are you? Roscoe's thinking, I am the spirit of Glasgow. I've won the Billy Connolly Award. No, he hasn't. He hadn't done that at that point. Upstairs Down, once again, thanks for giving us up to Lumperly, Rewild, Chunky Saladio, thanks for all the generosity. Yes, it's Bland, Ian McLeod, Surrey Hunter, Roll Duke, Steve Sisu, and Burniston Butcher. Thank you very much for that. Every now and again you get a bit of Twitch drama, and I fucking can't stand Twitch drama. Somebody just texted me yesterday, very kindly, to inform me, by the way, so-and-so said this about this person, so this thing and all of that, and I'm just like, alright, right, thanks for letting me know, appreciate that, because it's good to know, but I don't have capacity to remember who I'm pals with and who I'm no pals with. But then it's difficult, man. It's difficult. But for the most part, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Wonderful, lovely environment. Hello, B. Dolan. Welcome in. How's it going? I could mod like that. Let me know if you want me to act like security and stop chatters from chatting to you. That would be good, Dolan. Thank you very much. Dolan, see, just preemptively, could you just ban Roscoe? Let's do the blind boy method. Just ban Roscoe just in case he's got any like valid questions about what I'm actually doing or talking about. Do you know what I mean? Let's just fuck that. Thanks for the hype train, everybody. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, folks. You'll never stop me. Roscoe, can you remind me, was that like more or less the interaction? I don't want to fucking bring up drama, it's got nothing to do with me. But that was like more or less it, wasn't it? And then when they were being clear cunts, you were like, aye, right, whatever, go fuck off. And then at that point, that was that. I think that was more or less it. Are these people bothering me? Aye. I'm sitting here, Dolan, and all these people keep asking me questions and stuff like that. Did anybody see Limmy's stream earlier? Limmy was playing a game where the main characters were saying G's O. And so folk in the chat were putting up the Puppet 1030 emotes. So I subbed to him and I put as the sub message, G's O'Brien, this part's awfully familiar, isn't it? Aye, familiar. So I put that as the sub message. And I saw Limmy like go through stuff and he's like, oh, 1030, thanks for the sub. And I saw him read it and just like no have a fucking clue as to what I was talking about. He read it and he's like that. And just went back to the game. So I don't know. I hope you're alright. I hope everything's brilliant. But it was cool that in the chat, everybody was like, oh, Puppet 1030. That was cool, man. I'm well behind in the chat, everybody. Chunky Salad, aye, so I'm into, this is the big CRT, then I've got these three smaller CRTs and then this one's an oscilloscope, so I need to get them all up and running again. However, when I do big streams with these on, my electricity bill is literally about 150 to 200 pounds extra every month. And so that's the main reason why these aren't on, because I don't have 150 to 200 pounds extra every month. Fuck that. You'll just get normal alerts. Maybe if I was one of these big streamers with like thousands of folk watching and stuff like that, then it'll be cool. You know what I mean? We could maybe have a streaming goal for my electricity bill. Anyway, let's get to the bottom of the chat, everybody. Imagine Billy Connolly starts watching Roscoe streams and becomes a fan of Puppet 1030. Aye. Here, Mon will get Billy Connolly on Rust, right? Roscoe, could you text Billy Connolly? Get him on, tell him there's bees now. Mon, is Zabalbus, are you still in? Zabalbus. See if I've got Billy Connolly's Steam ID. Jink. Mon Zabalbus. Mon will get a wee Rust server on the go. Anyway, hello Dragon Ball as well, come in, how's it going? I'm not intentionally growing a questionable beard, I've just been very busy recently, so I haven't shaved. I don't want to look like this, I've just been very busy, and so this isn't through choice, I'm just sort of not looking after myself, and I can't grow a full beard. It just shows up patchy like this. I've tried. Maybe I need to take testosterone supplements or something. I don't fucking know, man. I'll watch a Joe Rogan podcast and he'll tell me how to grow a beard. Anyway. I'm assuming it was used in an arcade because of the burn-in. It was used for CCTV. So this is monitor number 59. And on Reddit, when I got this monitor, I looked up to see if it could be RGB modded. And I found a thread on Reddit of somebody with the same monitor figuring out if it could be RGB modded, and when I say the same monitor, exactly this monitor, the exact same one, because the burn-in is the same and it's got a big chip off the plastic right down at the bottom. It's the same physical monitor, which is a bit wild, who sold it to somebody else who eventually sold it to me. So I'm thinking about starting a subreddit exclusively for people who have owned this physical fucking monitor. So the burn-in is apparent, But it's not really a big deal. I don't really care too much about it. What is a bigger problem is it currently doesn't work. If I switch it on, it just goes all dark. Anyway, thanks very much everybody for chatting away in the chat. If anybody else has got any good news. Basin Bray says, is it me or is the mic much more directionally sensitive than before? You're directionally sensitive. I've applied a couple of filters and stuff on my microphone, so it's currently got a de-esser because I wasn't very happy with my sibilance. And so that's all good now. Bees, not beads, bees. And so I've messed about with like gain and things like that, so it might, does it not pick me up if I'm over here as much as it used to do? I'll review the VOD. Understand even in Australia, the second you fire some up, your power bill spikes. Aye, it's ridiculous in here. Pippa was very brave and didn't care. Fred was really good with us and didn't bark at us at all. Loved the attention. I was a wee bit worried. Fred can be a psycho sometimes when folk are in the house, but it worked fine. Aye, so Dando licks things, pass it on. Can I just say maximum congratulations to Dando as well? Everybody's fucking storming at this weather. Dando has just been accepted to a PhD course. So we've got Dr. Dando is about to arrive. I've already asked, she can't get me valleys or anything like that. Thumpchop, welcome in, how's it going? Thank you very much for 21 months. Thumpchop Ridge Piece, I appreciate that, thank you very, very much. Fucking Roscoe getting his Billy Connolly stuff. Dando getting access to valleys. I mean, becoming a doctor, not a medical doctor. Dando's becoming a doctor. Pip's getting his film all sorted. Fucking Kate had a big amazing birthday party. Ollie English came up and it was a big fun event. What else is happening? Oh, other stuff. Yes, it's Bland's like conquering the escape room industry after quite a lengthy time of grafting, and it's all happening, man. It's all pure happening for us. I'm really excited. Dr. Dando got you enough pills recently? Well, I've ran out, so I want more. Imagine if Rust had added beads instead of bees so you could just make each other friendship bracelets. I think you should propose that, Dolan. They would love that because you'd be able to download friendship bracelet skins and stuff, and that could be applied to like your team, see the crew that you're in, so you can identify who's in a crew. And it would be a piece of piss for them to implement. Dolan, please get in touch with Face Punch Studios. Wasn't there somebody in that worked with Face Punch like ages ago? Ages and ages ago, there was somebody sort of floating about. That's a great idea, man. Let's do that. Make it happen. 87 All Duke says, is M&D's actually good, by the way? I've never been. I wouldn't go on any rights. I don't want to say why, because it might be libelous. However, I work on Reporting Scotland, and I've seen enough news stories that made me say to everybody in my group, don't go on any of the roller coasters, don't go on that big slide. And it's not me being overly cautious. It was my job to, like, you know how when the newsreader's saying a story and in the background you've got an image that slowly zooms in. Today 5 people were injured. So I've zoomed in on a lot of like worrying photos of M&D's ride breakdowns, accidents or malfunctions that has made me like just, and like, I'm no fear to roller coasters, I quite like roller coasters and stuff, but I'm never fucking going on one there. Certainly not. So we went to Amazonia, which was good because you see all the wee animals and stuff like that. That was good, I enjoyed that. And then, but the full vibe, it feels a bit like, remember Banksy's Dismal Land? All feels just a bit grim. They've got a bee garden, not beads. And it's like something for Silent Hill, man. It's all overgrown. It looks like nobody's touched it since COVID era, right? And everything's all just like haunted, evil shit, man. There's a big sort of pelican bird thing, isn't there? And then like the eye of the birds just is like, I think it lit up or something. So the eye of this giant fiberglass pelican, I think, is it a pelican? Blammer, you'll know your birds. The eye sort of hanging out and like dangling on a bit of electricity wire. So I think at one point it lit up, but it no longer does. It's no longer in its socket anymore. Full vibe, grim as fuck, right? But you might think, oh well, there's arcades. We could go in, just have a shot on the arcades. Rip off, man. A toucan, there you go. A toucan. Thank you. Went into the arcades, and there's one of them, you know, the Zoltan machines that you get in big, the fortune telling machines. So Rachel went up and it says £1. So she's like, I'm going to get a fortune. You put money in, you get like a wee printout thing of like a fortune, right? She put £1 in. The Zoltan machine is like that. Your fortune is to give me more money. Insert more money. She's like, what? It didn't even fucking print out a thing. Print anything on a bit of card. Like, how easy is it to do a fortune? Dead easy. Oh, future's bright. Anything at all. It's like, no, it asks for more money after you've input the amount of money that the sign says. What a fucking scam, man. Somebody else got scammed. I think Big Taff Man tried to put money into a sooty and sweet thing, and it just didn't work or something like that. It was pish. Llama won big. Got some tickets out of thing and redeemed it for, you know, one of the tubes that goes like that. So that was cool. That was something. I think Llama came out on top out of everybody. Aye, so the fortune thing says, to get a fortune, give me more money. Fucking chase yourself, you fiberglass head. So, would I recommend you go to M&D's? No. But the Amazonia bit's alright. Llama's luck is infuriating. Listen, I think it's just a skill issue, B. Dolan. I think it's that. I wouldn't trust any food in the place either. Just got that sort of vibe. The tagline for M&D's is Scotland's theme park. That's the tagline, which isn't like, it's not really hyping it up, is it? You know, if you go to the time capsule, the local swimming baths, it's the biggest fun in a million years. It's like hyping it up, this is fun. Whereas with M&D's, it's just Scotland's theme park. Here is a fact that can't be contested. Make that the fucking tagline for the place. Should we go to M&D's? It's Scotland's theme park. Just pure dry, legally vetted and bulletproof, man. Nobody can file any claims or false advertising there. It is Scotland's theme park. But like, that there is a sign of like how high they're aiming with ambition. All of that aside though, it depends on the group that you were with, and the group that I was with is a bunch of really wonderful human beings. And I'd. So I had a great time. I really enjoyed it. So that answers your question. Thanks everybody for having such an active chat. I'm really enjoying. I've missed you. I've been really busy for a wee while. So let me just scan away. And see what everybody's saying. Andy, I'm about 20 minutes drive from Glasgow. So round about Glasgow. Chameleon says, a bit of my lighter good news though. You got new lighters? I got my Balatro deck of cards delivered yesterday, so I ended up spending my evening last night coming up with a variation of a single player card game, which was tickling the game design part of my brain without the stress of graphics or sound. Class, Chameleon. That sounds dynamite. I've managed to stay away from Balatro because I think I'll end up getting sucked in. Anytime I've watched somebody play Balatro, I'm just like, I don't know what's going on, but it looks like as soon as I know what is going on, I'm probably going to be hooked. And right now, I can't afford to be hooked on anything because I've got a million different jobs that I'm doing. For the same reason, I'm really enjoying Dolan and Llamas and other people its run of Schedule 1, the game where you sell drugs to folk, and that looks right up my street, man. I really want to go in and just pure exploit friendships in the game to make a big drug empire. It looks fucking brilliant, and it's funny as hell watching them play it as well. Multiplayer gives a big like room for good banter and stuff, but I'm using restraint. I'm like, I've got a lot of work on. I just can't do this. So if folk are still playing that, when we're at the other side of shooting this film, I'm going to get right into it. Fraz Waffle, Nomad Escape is in Merchant City, so get yourself down there in a few weeks when it opens for some really incredible escape room, wonderful stuff. So it's Merchant City, Merchant Square, Merchant City, Nomad Escape. This isn't a paid sponsorship or anything like that. I just think they're sound people and what they're doing is really cool. Foxtrot says, does it need to be Twitch? I'm YouTube fully. I don't even have Twitch. Is streaming feasible on YouTube only, or I'm going to lose massive audience potential? I've no idea, Foxtrot. So I'm dual streaming on Twitch and YouTube, and I'm just trying stuff out. Most of my audience is on Twitch. I haven't really got in on YouTube, but good luck, man. Different things work for different people. And nothing you do will work immediately as well, but then lots of people are sort of grafting away and chipping away thinking, right, at some point this is going to pay off, and it doesn't. For the majority of people, you need to be very lucky. So I don't know, man. What audio interface you use? Elgato Wave XLR. I don't recommend it. I've got issues with it, but I wouldn't know what one to recommend. John Atfield Arts. So Foxtrot asks, why is Twitch better? I'm a YouTube only man. Twitch is better for me because all my audience are on Twitch. If all my audience were on YouTube, I'd be focusing on YouTube. But for Twitch, there seems to be like a better community vibe and all that sort of stuff. Can you hear me over? Well, I turn the music down to about there. Just making sure everybody can hear and see me, okay? John Atfield Art, welcome in. How's it going? Good news, got rid of the flu and fever I had, so I'm off for a nice walk in the sunshine. John Atfield, that sounds dynamite, man. That sounds absolutely dynamite. How good is it when the sun's out? I'm a wee bit behind in the chat. It's like Game of Thrones on Twitch. Who's going to win and who's going to die? 100%. 100%. I was a wee shame what happened to Roscoe, man. Oh, with the Blind Boy stuff. Anyway. Sorry, I've blocked all. So, apparently this mod was subtweeting absolute lies about Roscoe, to which he produced receipts, so then the mod blocked him. So that's funny. Haha. It's a wee shame though, because Roscoe and Blind Boy I think would be absolute best mates. Anyway. I hope everybody's doing brilliant, and I hope the mod's doing brilliant as well, and I hope everybody's just having a nice time. Why can't everybody just have a nice time all the time? Seriously. Getting through life's hard enough, man, without all that. Anyway. How old's the monitor? I'd say maybe 2001 or something, maybe. I think it's a 911er, round about then. 10:30, I'm going bowling in a minute. Probably by the time you see this, I'll be there, but can you please manifest some good luck my way? Let's all manifest good luck for Beneath the Headphones bowling. There you go. There you go. There you go. Where are we? Imagine if Rust had added beads instead of bees so you can make each other friendship. So I'm just at that point in the chat. I really think somebody should contact Facepunch. Here, somebody want to clip this? Facepunch Studios, how are you doing? Listen, it's me, 1030, and my friend B Dolan, who's in my Twitch chat, has got an amazing idea for Rust. It is this: friendship bracelets. How fantastic would it be to give friendship bracelets to other members of your clan? You could even customize them or download skins for different types of friendship bracelets. I think this would be a worthwhile addition to the game. And Facepunch, lastly, could I just say thank you very much for making such an amazing game for everybody to just get along in without any arguments or any misunderstandings or anything like that. What a wonderful game Rust is. I adore it. Thanks very much for your time. See you later. Get that clipped. There you go. Your mum will get a wee Rust server on the go, man. So I'm going to clip that, we'll send it to Face Punch, and we will get some Beedle and friendship bracelets. Yeah, don't go on any rides on M&Ds. Very important. Very important. I went to the Lost Boys secret screening once as part of Glasgow Film Festival. Turned out to be in M&Ds. Jesus Christ. They really were lost then, weren't they? My God. Pencil Kane says, I moved very close to M&D's about 5 years ago and I think I've been once. It's so shit. I wonder if the bowling's any good. So there is like bowling alleys and stuff there. I don't know. I got an Uber home and the guy picked my suitcase out the boot and made the noise and the suitcase made the groan. So Llama-chan got one of the tubes that makes that noise when you turn it upside down. Llama got an Uber home and the guy picked up my suitcase out the boot and the suitcase made the noise and neither of us acknowledged it. That's brilliant. That's just brilliant. I love it. Dolan says Llama's luck is infuriating. Well, obviously not after that taxi situation. Oh, that's good. That's brilliant. I'm really happy that happened. My God. Rhinoceros says, I also won enough tickets and M&Ds to get my ex-girlfriend a stiletto phone. Stiletto phone sounds a bit dangerous. Pierce your own bloody ear. G-Dad, what's happening, G-Dad? 52 months. I don't even stick to things I like for that long. Brilliant, G-Dad. Thank you very, very much for subbing. Meatballs, I think you're due a bubble blast, but it might have fucked up. I'm going to just sit here and see if it happens, because I think it's... That's it there. Meatballs, thank you very much for subbing. I never heard the phrase groaning tube before, and I identify with it strongly. Meatballs, welcome in, you big groaning tube. Thanks very much for subbing, Meatballs, and thanks G-Dad as well. And Thumb Chop once again, cheers. Thanks very much. Deary me. Mind Loudon Castle? Aye. 100%. Do they still have the Pepsi bit? Not that I saw, Carivore. We're talking about M&D's theme park. What I would say about M&D's theme park is it did feel a bit like a map for a first-person shooter game. Say like Left 4 Dead or something like that. Just felt fucking corroded. Felt like it was built at a time where the country was more prosperous than what it currently is. Anyway. Dolan says, I was up last night thinking about Papers, Please and how easily I accepted fascism. I bought Beedle and Papers, Please. So it was Dolan's birthday a wee while ago. Hello, Stevie. Welcome in. Just for clarity, you're not literally my cousin, are you? Because I do have, I think, 4 cousins called Stephen. And you might be one of them. My family's massive, man. It's that big I don't even know who half of them are. So I bought B. Dolan. It was his birthday a couple of months ago. A couple of weeks ago. So I got him Papers, Please. And he's playing it on stream just now, which is class because there's a lot of stuff in that game that I just wanted to see Dolan deal with, and it's good watching everybody. Rhinoceros, welcome in. I'm moving out your way for a few weeks while this wee guy gets over a wee operation, so we should drink cans and go bowling at M&D's one afternoon. Give me a shout, Rhinoceros. Also, don't tell people where I live, thanks. But give me a shout when you're out and about. I'm about to go into heavy film production, so I'm busier than what I've ever been. However, see if you're in the area, fucking I'm going to make time. I'm going to make time. Not that I am in the area of M&D's or anything like that, because that's not, I think you're a wee bit confused with the 2 or 3 different stories. that was going on just now, because I'm not in the area of M&D's. I was there though when everybody came up. But what I'm saying is, if you happen to be moving to my area, give us a wee shout and we can chill out and we can have a nice time. Aye, Dolan, I'm really enjoying watching you Papers, Please. It's brilliant. Right, where are we? Like a fascist stuck to water, 100%. I really want to play the drug game with you lot, man, but I'm just not allowing myself to do it. You can't casually play Schedule 1, 100%. You need to sort of lean into it. Right, where are we? Where are we? I thought security were supposed to be screening these questions, 100%. Where are we? We did have a fair amount of banter for Roscoe being banned. I've got just a vision in the future where Roscoe and Blind Boy will be at an event and it'll come up in conversation and they will all laugh about it and it'll be like, oh ho ho ho, and then they'll be pals forever after that. And I think it's all going to end brilliant. And the mod that put Roscoe through a lot of shite, I hope that our next job is a jaggy one, because that was out of order. Aye, Mo will get a wee Rust server on the go, man. Mo will do that. Young Lane says, do you know any card tricks? I do, aye. I don't have a deck of cards around, but I was thinking about adding card tricks to this Twitch stream as part of a redemption. Spiff is a Rust server, there we go. There we go. Look at that, Rust's back, we're back. Forget the film, 40 grand on the biggest Rust server of all time. Aye, get Billy Connolly in the Rust server, man. Deary me. Used to go bowling a lot when I was a young, but bowling's just bowling. I don't know. I mean, you can have a good bowling alley and you can have a bad bowling alley. Your feet stick to the floor and all that. Like, so I don't know. Well, it looks like I've got to the bottom of the chat, lads. You need ID for my shoe size? Aye, we're going bowling, Stevie. I think it's time to head upstairs because... Wait till I show you what I've done upstairs, man. I've put a wee bit of work into it. Put a lot of work into it. And I'm just making sure everything's cool on my thing. Again, I'm juggling so many jobs just now. I'm doing about four full-time jobs now. My 3D printer needs to be up and running and working. So we're going to go and have a wee look at that. And I'm going to go and see if it's viable to make that be up and running and working while I'm live on stream. And that's all happening in the loft. Also, I don't know how hot the loft is going to be the day, because it's quite hot outside, and usually on a hot day the loft starts to just bake, and if I'm up there for any length of time I feel a wee bit lightheaded, but like not in a fun way where it gives you a bit of a buzz, just in a like a, oh, I might need medical attention if I stay in here for much longer. So we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. Hello SKLRS. For anybody watching on YouTube who's into the stuff that I'm doing, Twitch is really where it's at. Twitch.tv/1030. That's twitch.tv/1030 if you write it down like that. Papers, Please for the Switch. That's my one remaining ambition in life, having failed to formulate or achieve any others. Is Paper, Please out for the Switch? I don't know anything about that. I got it for Dolan for the PC. I think it was about £8 or £7 or something. Please hydrate. I do need to hydrate. Somebody redeemed hydrate and I just ignored it because I don't have any water next to me. Rye3D an hour ago wanted me to hydrate and I haven't done it yet. So what we're going to do is have a wee hydrate. We're going to head up a loft. Does that sound good, everybody? Does that sound good? My office is in the loft. Feels like stepping up into a warm bath. iJam handler 100%. It's either roasting or freezing. There's never the Goldilocks in between. Okay, I think I've done everything that I want to do here. Let's go up to the loft. I don't know if we will do some heavy 3D printer tinkering, but at least I'll show you what's happening there. At least I'll show you what's happening. Also, if you weren't in earlier, you missed this wonderful content. I've got a button, and it makes a good noise. Hold on, you need to... Let me turn down the music so you can really hear the button. good, isn't it? Anyway, let's get to the loft. In order to get to the loft, for the last time today, I'm going to be using Epoch Cam. Epoch Cam is an application that I've been using for a long time. However, it's been discontinued. So Elgato bought it off an independent developer a couple of years ago. Just haven't touched it since. And I'm guessing now they've realised they don't want to maintain it or whatever. So Epoch Cam is in the bin, and I'm going to try out Droid Cam off stream and see if that will fill the void that Epoch Cam has left behind. Because I've got a lot of complaints about Epoch Cam, and if I can get a good replacement for it, I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be fairly happy. So there we go. I mean, Epoch Cam works great just now. What I'm going to do though is close this so that we don't get any channel point redeems if I'm up, so that we don't bubble an empty chair. Can everybody hear and see me okay? Is this a bit quieter than the mic, the previous mic? Because I think I can turn this up to about here. I think that might be good if I turn it up to about there. What do you think about that? Let's go to the loft. Let's go to the loft. Please put the film on hold to make the Crystal Maze transition for when you're going to the loft, and vice versa. Well, how's about I just sing a wee song and then we don't need a transition? Dun 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 dun, going up the loft. We're going up the loft. It sounds like the Crystal Maze. Going up the loft. We're going up a loft. Dun 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 dun. We're gonna aloft. Deba dooba, deba dooba, deba dooba, deba dooba. Going up the loft. We're going up a loft. We're going up a loft. Then now. And that's us in the loft, everybody. Look at that. When I'm up aloft, I can't read the Twitch chat. So what I need is, let's go over here. Let's not put on the full loft computer setup because we don't need that. Instead, I have skillfully charged up a phone. And with that charged up phone, I can have Twitch chat on my wrist. So that's what I'm going to do. And when I'm applying that to my wrist, I'm just going to put you in here. Hiya, how's it going, everybody? Twitch.tv 1030. So wait till I show you what I've done with my big 3D printer. So we need the big 3D printer working for two projects that I'm currently doing. And I'm just connecting this phone to the thing. Connecting this phone to the internet. And so now, yep, could somebody type 123 in chat? And I'll say your username. If anybody's there, please type one. There we go, right here. Thanks, Meatballs. Thank you very much for testing out. QTV, thank you very much, ICU. That's us now. We've tested it. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, everybody. So that means I can now see you on my wrist, just like Mary's Milk Monsters. And then what I'm going to do, boom shakalaka again, and then a third boom shakalaka, and then I will put you in my heat. There we go. So that's us all set up. Right, so in the loft, I've got my 3D printer set up here. This is my resin 3D printer in the wash station. I'm not going to touch the inside of this because I don't have any gloves on, but over there is my smaller FDM 3D printer. And then this big jobby over here is the large one. So I have just set this up recently, like just a couple of days ago. And I don't know if it'll be too much of a pain in the arse to try and get this diagnosed and working when I'm on stream, because I might need just some time to sit and swear at it and think about it for quite a bit. So have we got lag? Must have put on colo servers. I don't know what that is. So this is my guy right here. This is the big 3D printer. Whoa, fell forward. So here he is. This is a Creality CR10 S5. The previous people that lived in this house left, I think, components to make a big shelf, but they're made out of glass, right? And there was 4 of them. So I put 2 that way, they're in bubble wrap, and then 2 that way as well. And hopefully that'll give like a big heavy base for the 3D printer to sit on so it doesn't rattle about. These things are quite handy, but they're kind of rattly and shaky. So I've put a screw, like a nut and bolt setup through there. So that'll hopefully make it sturdy. And then what I'm going to do is take this full setup and kind of push it further towards these vertical wooden beams. I'm going to get a strip of wood across there, and then there's holes sort of here and here, and I'll drill them into that strip of wood just to kind of make this full thing as solid as it can be, so that when I'm printing it doesn't all just rattle about and shake about and all of that nonsense. And that's what's happening, troops. So in order for all of that to happen good, what I need to do is reconnect the full setup. So this big 3D printer is running off of a Raspberry Pi with a webcam, and then all these components need to sort of be all attached to each other. So without further ado, let's get into it. But first, that's what they say, isn't it? They all say, without further ado, let's get into it. And then they say, but first. And then they add some more ado, don't they? They add some ado. Immediately after they said that there wasn't going to be further ado, they add some ado. Jesus Christ. Right, so let's slowly move this way. And that'll give us access to this. So basically, we've got this big spaghetti mess. This was difficult getting up the stairs on my own, man, let me tell you that. It was very, very difficult. Colo servers are where you set up more servers doing the same thing spread across the world to reduce lag. I'm saying the lag between you saying 1, 2, 3. Ah, right, got you, meatballs, got you. Right, so let's undo this big mess of cables. So that there isn't anything to do with that. That's to do with a webcam that I've got. And I've just realised this wrist-mounted chat is actually causing me a wee bit of bother. Chat lag. So luckily these are all labelled. So this here is the plug for the Z something. Is that the Z motor? Yes, it is, because there are 2 Z motors. Although, right, let's just put that here. This is a filament runout detector, but with my current firmware that I've got in the 3D printer, I don't use this. So I'm going to just chuck that under there, and then maybe one day I will go into the firmware and reactivate it. This here is the Y-axis. So there's 2 for the Y-axis. And then I'm assuming this is the Z. I'm a bit confused, man. So some of these are for the limit switches and some of them are for the motors. So if there's just one here, I assume that's for the limit switch. And I would assume that then would go in there. I think. Oh, I think there's another component that I need to screw in. So this here is a limit switch. And I think it's for the Y axis. Hold on, no, the Z. I'm going to fuck this, isn't I? It's been a few years since I've had this switched on. Third must be the X. Well, no, because I did say Z first. So this is definitely Z. This is definitely Z. So I think these are, one of them is for the motor, one is for a limit switch. And then the other one would be for the other motor. Yep. So these 2 are for the Z motor, this one's for the Z limit switch. So the long one, so Z is up and down on 3D printers. So what I'm going to do is feed this under there and then under there, and then we will be good. So this printer is very large, and it's cool because it can print stuff that other printers can't print. For example, full-scale R2-D2 domes and all that sort of stuff. But the bigger the printer is, the more weight is getting sort of shuggled about. And the more weight that's getting shuggled about, the worse the print quality. So there are multiple different ways that you can alleviate the problems. But honestly, this particular printer is more bother than it's worth. Most folk on the Facebook group for this printer have eventually just sold it because it's a pain in the arse, man. When you get good prints out of it, it's good, but you need to do maybe 10 prints. 10 failed prints for one good print, you know what I mean? And it's less than ideal. However, if you look at this big R5D4 head, like that's all one piece, you can get that out of a printer like this, and not too many printers can achieve such a thing, so it is what it is. Also need to worry about power here as well. So I'm not sure how I'm going to power this. I might need to bring over the power from my other 3D printer. However, the power supply is currently inside a contaminated cannabis tent that's filled up with like bad resin. So I'm going to have to like UV cure the resin on the power supply in order to be able to bring it out safely. So that's good, isn't it? Right, what have we got here? This is Y and Y. So that's here. So Y on a 3D printer is this axis. And what we'll do is just bring this under here. Like that. And then under here like that. And one of these is for the limit switch and the other one's for the motor. I might need to bring this main box up here a wee bit. Offy footery. So then, I don't even think you can see what I'm doing. Hold on, I've just realised I could add a wee light here. So we get that plugged in there. And we get this boil plugged into here. Like that. There we are. So that's a wee switch here. And basically when this plate moves up enough, it collides with this switch and that tells the printer, okay, you're at the end of the bit. You reached your limit. So now what I need to do is connect the other Z1 and the Z limit switch. However, the Z limit switch is here and I've kind of forgotten how that attaches on. So we'll have a wee look at that. Let me look at the chat first, see if you are chatting about anything. Have you not got your filament in humidity controlled boxes? I'd be getting moist in the winter, then baked in the summer. I do have, so in here, down below, there's lots of silica gel packets. You're a silica gel packet, all your bloody nonsense. Aye. You're a silly sausage. So most of the PLA spools that I've got in here are sort of humidity controlled. These ones that are out are PETG filaments that I've just never been able to get working. So, like, they're out in order to be binned. And then these here that are out are vacuum sealed, so they're no in there. So like this and this is just for the bin basically. But I just haven't done that yet. Don't you want the Y cables routed outside the frame so the bed can't graze them? Aye, that's what they are. So everything is outside the frame except from this, which is the heater, the bed heater. So there's nothing going into the frame, everything's going underneath. You know what I mean? And can't make any contact. And over here, that isn't making any contact, so that's good. But I'll get them all plugged in and then I'll reposition stuff. But the only thing that's sort of going anywhere near the moving parts is this. But I can't route that any other way. As far as, and everything else is sort of going underneath it all. So I don't think there's any flexion or any worries about that I need to make. I think it's all looking good. Looked like it went inside the frame right at the servo. Round here. I mean, I guess so. So what you're saying is this. I don't know if there's much in it, but you might be right, so I'll do it. Like that. Oh, it's awfully footery, let me tell you. Doop. And then... doop. I said dope. Aye, there we go. Doop. So that's us. And then that's us. And that's all looking good. Is that a bit of weed? No, it isn't. Okie dokie. So, what we need to do now is, I think, just move the full thing that way a wee bit. Also, getting some itchies. So hopefully that's fiberglass and not beasties. So this bit here needs to fucking plug into that. Like so. And I think I'll turn the torch off because I won't be able to stream for much longer if I retain the torch. So then this bit here is a limit switch, right? This is a limit switch. I will turn the torch back on because you now can't see in. This is a limit switch, and when this full gantry moves up and down, eventually it'll hit this switch and that tells it, right, that's you at the bottom bit, that's you where you need to be. And I remember this particular bit being a bit of a bastard back in the day, so I wonder if that's why I took it off to like repair it or something. We'll see how it goes. So I'll need to reapply that. Once I reapply that, I'll switch the full thing on and then see if I can remember the password to log into it. And if I can't, I might need to just like redo all of that. Hello Pedropolis. We're rebuilding the old large one. Hello Set to Build, how's it going? Did I hear you're making an R5D4? Well, kinda, yes. So I've got two R2D. Hello Devon Inc, how's it going? Aye, totally, Meatballs, totally, you're right. So I've got, over here, this is a aluminium R2D2. And I think I've got enough components of that I could actually put it together. Well, it's aluminium, the chassis is wood. This is a 3D printed R2D2. Over here I've got the body, aluminium rolled body for R2D2. And then there's boxes of just various other components. The only things that I don't have are like the legs and the feet. And if I had the legs and the feet, I would be able to, just within about 2 or 3 weeks, if I didn't have anything else on, we would have a completed R2D2. So instead of finishing that, I started work on this. And then instead of finishing that, I 3D printed an R5D4 head. So this isn't finished, it's still needing, you know, sanded down and stuff. But this is all one piece. And the reason I could print it one piece is because of the big 3D printer that I'm currently getting working. However, So I printed that. I've had to move house. Then I moved house again. And then I've been in the middle of stuff, just trying to get everything up and running and working. So slowly but surely, it's taken quite a bit to get all of this into this scenario. And something that I've neglected to do for the longest time is to configure this 3D printer so that it works. So today's the day. But welcome in, Set to Build. How you doing? So I've got all sorts of other projects on the go. But my longest ever project is that R2D2 there, which I've been building since I was 11 years old. And any day now, I'll get back into it. What's a bit awkward is right here, where I'm standing, isn't very safe feeling on my feet. I think there might be a bit too much weight on this particular area of the loft. See, if I go over here, this is a lot better. Well, actually, maybe here, there's a good bit. I need to mark the safe areas because this loft, I don't think it conforms to like legal flooring laws. Right, I need to lift all of this and just move it over a bit. Like so, because otherwise it would interface down here. There we go. So that gets to sit like that, and all of that's all good. So turns out what I need to do is screw this bit in here. Don't know if you can see what I'm doing there, but that's what I need to do. So let me find the appropriate Allen key and just precariously perch that there. So we need to remove this plate for there and then install this with the two screws. I don't think you can see what I'm doing, but I will find a better camera solution. I think that's why I'm itching so much. These tiny bits of fiberglass that are kicking about. Okie dokie. So, these are my Allen keys here. I knew I sort of had them nearby. And what we will do is, I think I had a camera mount, but I'll just prop it up. Hello. Thanks for joining me when I'm feeling all nice in my loft building my 3D printer. I'm in my element. So thanks for being in and watching me doing it. So I spent a wee while a couple of nights ago listening to Blind Boy's podcast and just building up this printer. I can't see the output, but can somebody just verify you can see this here? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So that's what we're going to be doing. I've lost the chat. The chat's here. Not to mention the price of Baltic birch ply. Exactly. Try to fix the floor with a pair of scissors and some wire. 100%, mate. Hellish. So what I'm going to do, I think it's this one. Nah. I think it's this one. Nah. Fucking Goldilocks. There we go. So this is a wee bit tricky in that there's like an interface nut. Does anybody remember what they're called? The wee interface nuts. And as soon as you remove this, they fall down. And so it's like kind of awkward and fiddly, if I'm going to be totally frank with you, to do this. And I can't believe that I've decided to stream the most fiddly, footery part of the entire construction. But this is the last bit. After this, all we need to do really is clip on the bed. So I've got a big glass bed that's quite heavy. I'm going to try and replace that with something else whenever I've got money. And also sort out the Raspberry Pi and see if we can get that up and running. I don't think I've got the correct clips to clip the bed on, so that probably means we won't be able to start a print today. but we could at least move stuff about and see. Oh, actually, I didn't need to remove the 2 bottom bits. That's a sort of bit of a pain in the arse. But what I don't want to do is have to tip this up, because just try to think of the best way of doing this. Aye, so the best way to do it is to remove this entirely, okay? Like that. So this comes off, and then what I'm going to do is remove these boils. Like that, and then there's one here. So I'll remove that. And then my idea is to prepare this all nicely, and then it'll all just be able to sort of fit on an interface. So we've got that plate here, this plate goes over top, and then that goes here. See, I need longer screws, man. I need longer screws. So maybe I need to go back to my 3D printing screw cupboard, because these screws aren't long enough to go through both of those parts. Some of these are longer than the others, so those 2 are 2 of the longest ones, but I think I need even longer screws. Yep, probably, or maybe no. I mean, that might just make a connection. Nah, I'm certain I need longer screws. So this might kibosh the full operation. Let's see if we can find longer 3D printing screws. They're M4, I think they're M4 machine bolts. I'm saying screws, they're technically not screws. And I've got a couple of places in this loft where I would go if I was looking for M4 machine screws. But straight off the bat, let's try in here. Just wee stupid wee daft ones. I'll put them over there because they're all family. And then that's one, but it's far too long. I need some of these. See these wee clips? Definitely need some of them. M4. So down here is a big set of cases that I've got for, ouch, exactly this sort of stuff. Oh, here, by the way, in fact, I'll show you later. Let's stay on target and we'll get stuff achieved. So, I'm going to fill these cases with like machine bolts and stuff. The only one I've filled up is this one here. And I filled this with interface components for like 2020 tubing and things. And I think in here there might be some M4 machine bolts. If not, there might be some in a different place and we'll look in there later. But let's just assume they're going to be in here and they're going to be great. Let's get the Twitch chat over here and let's get the 2 wee components that I need. So you can sit there. And then we'll get these wee lads. But if anybody's got any questions or whatever, stick it in chat. They are nice cases, got them kind of cheap. So let me... we'll just do this just now so you don't feel sick. Beautiful. And we can put on a light as well so you can kind of see what we're up to. Would it help to see this camera angle? It might do.
John, it's me. I will be back in about half hour.
Alright, where are you going?
Doctors.
Oh, aye, good luck. Bye. I think you can hear and see me all good. Aye, Lidl. So I bought 2 of these, and then I think my dad got me one. My dad saw the 2 that I bought on stream. So, oh, by the way, I've got one of them. Do you want it, Vi? So I need to spend a wee bit of time at some point making use of them, you know, putting stuff in them that I need. So what we're looking for is this And that's away to hell forever. That's just lost. I've just dropped a screw. Just forever. That's now gone. Luckily, it was the wrong size. Aye, my dad is some guy. So this here is the size that I need. So I said M4, but it might be M5, and if it is M5, we're in business. Because I've just found a wee pouch of M5s. I reckon we might not be so lucky though. But let's find out. Is this the same size? I think it's the same size. Papa! Everything's okay, don't need to worry about anything. I was like, I'm going to worry. I'm going to continue worrying. Do you know, I think these might be a bit too long. Did you like that, Dolan? I think I've said that too often that I don't even register it. Went straight to hell. So that'll go here. I don't know if you can see what's going on here. I don't know if you can see what's going on. I should have used my full proper upstairs setup. It's a good old manism. I might steal it. Fire in. And then, so this is good, right? But might be slightly too long a screw. But maybe not. So let's see if that can interface with the thing that I need it to, but in a way that I'm not setting the full thing up. I just want to screw this in and see if there's any play once it reaches its maximum. Let's go and do that. And if there isn't any play, then it's a good size screw, and because it's a good size screw, we can continue and do all the stuff. However, I don't really want to get up, because this is the first time I've sat down for a wee while. So, seeing as I'm here, I did find these, but, so what size are these? These are 16mm. I'm looking for maybe 10mm. Would be perfect, so let's see what these are. These are not labelled and the wrong size. These are too wee. These are too wee and a bit rubbish. However, hinges. I need hinges for a thing. So I might keep them out. No, I won't keep them out. I'll leave them in there, but I'll remember that they're in there. Nice sort of right angle aluminium components. These are actually longer. Found longer ones. They're about 20mm. That's the opposite of what we need. Then we've got washers. Love some washers. They're the ones that I originally found in the first place. These are black in colour and have got like an inbuilt washer. They look cool. So let's see what size they are. You know, this might be a goer. So they're the same size, but they've got like an inbuilt sort of spring washer that will reduce a wee bit of thing. So I think these are slightly better. So these have replaced these in my estimations, but let's just test them first before we get too happy about anything. So I was going to call you a good size screw. Thank you. I mean, we've all got our limits. You can shorten the play with a nut anyway. Aye, 100%. But I'd like to just keep it clean, you know. Aye, so that's good. That's better than what we had. But I was just thinking, if we've already got screws that are the correct length, like I'll just use them. You know what I mean? What are these boys? These are big long numbers, them, man. Oh, 30mm? No thanks. Not for me. Here's some hearing protection. That is the original bag that I keep picking up, but I'm going to put it over there so that I don't pick it back up, because that's not the right size. here is shorter than I need. So I think the black coloured ones are the ones. I feel quite positive about them. This was me and Yes It's Bland last night at about 10:30, and we were looking for the correct size machine bolt to connect to a maglock, and it was just, both of us were shattered, man. We're like, what about that? No, right. What about this? And eventually we found the right thing and it all worked brilliant. But I feel I had a wee sort of stint of deja vu, and I'm like, aye, it's because like fucking 15 hours ago I was doing exactly the same thing, but in an escape room shaped like a spaceship. Loads of fun though, loads of fun. Right, so I think this is our boy, this is us. So if we put that through there, oh ho ho, there we are. Oh, I'm happy about this. Yep, and then that's sticking through just enough that we're all pals and everything's great. So let's plug this in here. Yep. And I'll need a screwdriver to drive these in, not my Allen keys. So we'll find a wee screwdriver, but let's just set all this up in a lovely manner like so. There we are, job done. Oh ho ho, there we go. Yep. And so what I was thinking, right, we're now presented with something like this, right? And in the back, well, in the back what I'm going to do is not use the long ones. In the back I'm going to use the slightly shorter ones. Yep, so that the protrusion is the same. And now what I need to do is find the shorter one that did go straight to hell. If I can see it. Aye, it's just here. Didn't go to hell after all. It's just here. So that's good. Boom shakalaka. So now what I need to do is balance all of these wee shitty bits in here and all of that, and then put them through the bit and see if I can get it all working good. However, if one of these bits falls, I need to remove the full thing, and it's a hellish time. Actually, that should go on like this. Footery. Like that, right? One of your good old-fashioned hellish times. Listen, see, most projects that you get involved in, most things that are worth doing, involves some heavy hellish times at some point along the way. And if there wasn't any hellish times, see, if you're writing a song, if you're 3D printing a thing, if you're building something, whatever it is, at some point in that process, hellish times. Am I right, everybody? But the thing that separates people who are successful versus people that are unsuccessful is your ability to persist and to push through the hellish times. Sometimes the times are too hellish and there's no shame in just being like, ah, do you know what? I'm going to just leave this for a couple of months. And then other times you're like, ah, no, I'm going to do it. And then you do it and it's good, and then it's fine. And then you forget about the was even hellish times in the first place. There we go. Biggest hell of my life has been around mixing songs. Aye, there you go. There you go. No matter what it is, any creative endeavour, oh, it's just pish. It's just pish. And so that's one of the interesting parts about streaming creative projects that I've found, right? Usually if I'm on a creative project, the hellish times, I do it alone, you know? It's just me at 4 in the morning, sitting there like that. Why the fuck Disney? What? Fuck, right? But I'm streaming with you, looking over my shoulder. You're live here in my studio. So you're sort of joining in and all of that sort of stuff. But usually you don't see other people's hellish times unless they're your pals and you know you've been hearing about it. This was some great hellish times. It really was. Carivore says, turns out the bike I got is just too high for my wee stumpy legs when I pull my comfy bike seat on. That's hellish, Carivore. That's brutal. Is there any good strategy round about it, or what can you do, man? That's pish. Dawn says, might start calling my personal demons chat during creative times. Well, it is useful. So people who are programmers, apparently there's a meme where, or like a concept where you're writing a bit of code and it's not working. So one of the strategies is to rubber duck it, meaning they will have a rubber duck. This isn't rubber, but it's a very good prop considering I never intended to talk about ducks. Look at that. So programmers will often literally have a rubber duck next to their monitor, and anytime they're going through some hellish times, they will just explain the code to a duck. And in the process of explaining, alright, well these bits are to declare the variables, right? This isn't working, rubber duck. These bits are to declare the variables. That's the setup loop. That there is the first function. That there's the second function. Alright, I didn't declare the second function. And you put the duck down. The duck doesn't do anything. The duck is actually a bit shite at programming, but it's just there as a tool for programmers to explain something to. And if you explain it to the duck, chances are in the process of doing that you will find the error, right? So it's a meme apparently in programmer chat. And what I've found is in some of the creative things I do, you lot are the rubber duck. So if something isn't working, I will just, because I'm streaming, I have to verbalise what I'm doing. And that can be useful in some regards, problem solving. It can really slow me down in other regards. Sometimes on stream, I'll just stop the stream because I really need to concentrate on something in order to get it done. But for the most part, it's about the journey, not the destination, isn't it? I have a Funko Robocop specifically for this reason. There you go. There you go. Streaming projects also leads to collective brainstorming and problem solving, 100%, definitely. And I found that firsthand. You lot will say, oh, that's kind of like this. You know, Mootsie will recommend I get a peristaltic pump. And I'm like, what the fuck's a peristaltic pump? And then all of a sudden there's a whole new bit of my project that takes on. Reworld says, I'm a software tester and I've been a professional rubber duck for my devs many times. Yep. Happened to me on my day job. I had a problem with something. I was trying to figure out the problem for about 20 minutes. I then text a colleague, and as soon as I text a colleague, I was like, alright, and I figured it out. Like, without them responding. I in the act of verbalising what the problem was, I figured it out. Rubber ducks is a thing, man. I have a wee rubber duck on my monitor at work, there you go. Dolan says, scene, but also how does the duck de-stress after that? Just chain smokes on your desk. Aye, the duck imbibes all the tar and carcinogens of cigarettes so that I don't have to. Also, ducks are dicks, apparently, according to Taylor. You know Taylor for Penn and Teller? Says, if ever you need to use a duck in a magic show, don't, because ducks are very uncooperative and they're dickheads, and instead use a chicken. So one bit of advice that I remember hearing from Penn and Teller: don't fuck with ducks, man. They won't have your best interests at heart. If ever you need to like store an animal in a stage illusion contraption, your thing about using a duck, get a chicken instead. They're just sound when it comes to that sort of stuff. Duck's pulling in 150k as a scrum master, aye. Vibe coding with a duck. I wonder if vibe coding will replace the duck. Maybe somebody should create an AI duck that listens to you talking to it and then it AI codes some. Might be a wee idea somewhere in there. Don't know. I had a phase of saying fuck a duck when I was annoyed and it was getting me in trouble at work. Brilliant. Rubber duck programming is very much a thing. That's why folk think that pair programming is the way forward. But the important part isn't having someone else there, it's the process of explaining the problem. 100%, definitely. Definitely. Fuck a duck, man. Ducks are dicks, allegedly. I've got that wee duck in my room, but unsure of where it came from or how I got it. I think I got this free in a motherboard for a 3D printer or something. You know how when you buy electronic components from China, occasionally they'll include wee things? So this is some, but I can't remember exactly where I got it from, and it wasn't too long ago. I got 2 of them. And it came free in, it could have been anything. Some sort of electronic thing that I bought. No idea, but it sits there now. Deary me. If you can remember where you got it from, let me know. Okie dokie, everybody. We are now in a position. Llama should get loads of wee llamas. 100%. Rachel's at the doctor's. She's just texted. There's a guy here in full camouflage with a Union Jack flag patch with a poppy on it. In the doctor's. Sitting at the doctor's. Turns round, there's a guy in full camo gear with a Union Jack flag patch with a poppy on it. All the very best to him. As an educator, they say learning by teaching is the most effective. 100%. How did she spot him? That's Pater. That's Pater. I Miso, 100%. I totally agree with you. You should ask for a refund on his clothing. That's brilliant. And April as well. Here, I'm not one to judge. Listen, we need nutters. And that guy's decided that that's what he's doing today. So, bless him. Okie dokie. Going to put it back on my head. I've been, I don't know if you've spotted, right, but I've been procrastinating. I don't want to do this next bit because it's a pain in the arse. It means that I need to get down on the floor. I'm going to be uncomfortable. I'm not going to be able to stream it properly. And also it's footery. So I need to like push this bit in and then tighten stuff. But the other side of the bits that I'm tightening can just fall away. And if they do fall away, I need to unscrew everything, pull it all back out, and it'll all probably dismantle. Then I need to go and get the bits again. Then I need to come over here and assemble the one piece like this and make sure it's all oriented correctly. Then take it back over there and push it in and then do all of that. And I don't want to do that because that sounds like a load of shite. But, what did I say? You need to get through the hellish bits, don't you? Let's moan, we will get through all the hellish bits, right? Stop talking to your duck and get on with it. 100%. 100%. I just wanted a wee chat. I just got one of these ducks with a BTT SKR Mini E3 V3. You mean big T-Trek Tech E3 V3 Mini? One of these? Oh, no. I got this sort of duck with my big T-Trek T-Tech E3 V3 Mini. I got that sort of duck. And it's supposed to quack. I think she's got eyelashes. Although, who am I to? I don't care. But that is a different sized duck than this wee laddie here. However, I'm going to keep them together. I'm going to put one there and I'm going to put one there. So I was thinking it was that, see when I was describing it, I was thinking it's maybe that motherboard. But now that I've looked inside, it wasn't. It was a different duck that I got in that motherboard. Anyway, let's put this away because I'm procrastinating because I don't want to do all of that. Here we go. Here we go. Right, I'll put you back onto my head, right? And I'll try and do that in a fashion that doesn't disconnect the stream. Okay. So far, so good. Just make sure I haven't muted myself, nothing like that. It has been a good duck tangent. I've really enjoyed it, man. Hello, Zypher. We're hooking up my large 3D printer. What I need over here as well is probably that one. Doesn't need to be so big. Oh, here, I went to the doctor, right, to inquire about being assessed for ADHD. And the doctor tells me that the department in my local council that assesses for ADHD, they've just closed it down because they just can't be bothered doing their jobs anymore, basically. They just closed down that department. So I got ChatGPT to write a big letter to my MSP about ADHD. This sounds like dope bars, doesn't it? WTF, I said. I might have ADHD, so I went to the NHS GP about my ADHD, and then they didn't tell me what I want to know, so I wrote a letter to my MSP. Jeez. Anyway, I wrote a really good letter to my MSP, calling their lack of support discriminatory and unfair, because they will still offer support to people who can pay for it. So if you can pay £2,000 approximately for your ADHD diagnosis, then you can be diagnosed privately. But I don't have £2,000, so I'm not doing that. Also, if you get a private diagnosis, the NHS won't acknowledge your private diagnosis, so it's not as if you can go and get privately diagnosed and then, or privately assessed, and if you are ended up diagnosed, like, you can't get free medication on the NHS or free treatment or whatever. So I wrote to my MP, and to be fair to them, they care about it, and they're trying to figure out a solution for me. And this is counter to like any interaction I've ever had with a politician ever. So I've had to sign a thing saying that they can look at all my medical records and like speak on my behalf and all of this sort of stuff. So quite soon I might have good news, but maybe not. Right now I don't have good news because I've put all these wee bits on backwards. So I need to just sit up here and reverse them, but that'll only take a minute or so. So it was good. Big T-Trek SKR Mini V3 MSP ChatGPT ADHD on the NHS, speaking to my GP. It's good, isn't it? BRB AFK WTAF 100%, man. While we're ducking around, an actual ducks, and one day they were in a bucket. The question is, one, is it a duck bucket or a bucket of ducks? I think both. Why not both? My pal got diagnosed and put towards therapy. The therapist left, got back on the list, another therapist left, and then the whole building closed. That's exactly, we might have the same pal. That is exactly what happened to my pal, and they didn't know about it. They just didn't get back in touch. So that's good, isn't it? Fuck. So I would like medication, man. I want Dando's Power Eckies because they were life-changing. So Dando suggested, and I don't know if I'm up for it, right, but if I can't get treatment via conventional means, Dando says, get a stream goal on the go. And I'm like, what? Dando's like, put like a stream. I've never had a stream goal on this stream. But Dando's like, get chat to pay for it. And I'm like, no. I don't know. It doesn't feel right. Hold on, this is a bit footery. Because it's not America, do you know what I mean? I'm not like, hey Chad, can you pay for my medical bills? I was walking on the sidewalk and an SUV came out of nowhere and now I'm in debt for $250,000. I can't do that. 2025 is the year of the stream goals. I don't know. Like, at some point, I've accepted at some point I'll need money off yous, right? I'll fuck up somewhere and I'll be like, listen, guys, I'm now homeless again. Could I have money? Right? I've not directly and overtly asked for money like that on stream before, really. I mean, there was Pip's Kickstarter, but that's a different thing. So I don't want to be in the habit of that. And I've got a feeling the way the world's going, at some point I will need to be like that. Here, everybody. I'm going to shake yous all down, right? Oh, here, I cracked 2 of my teeth since I saw you last. No, well, I was telling you about it before. So I've now got, like, essentially 1 whole tooth removed, but it's actually 2 half teeth. So I might shake yous down for some dental work in the next wee while. But fuck it. Mon will go to Turkey and just get it all done there. Carver says, I seriously have issues with motivation these days. Well, for me, this definitely helped. Royal Duke, a stream goal is basically a crowdfunder. So somebody will say, okay, I need a new PC to stream with. So they'll have like a bar. And every time people donate, the bar goes up a bit. And then if you get to the top of the bar, there'll be like a big celebration, So a stream goal's a thing that a lot of people have done and do. But I've just personally never done one on my stream. But I'm not saying I never would. There's nothing wrong with doing it. But I'm just like, it's a bit interesting to think that I would be doing that for an ADHD assessment. Whereas like a few years ago, I would just go to the doctor and you would get one because that's what we're paying tax for. They also got bumped off the autism list twice. But good news, her doctor pulled some strings and she's awaiting an official screening. That's very good. That's really good. Well, hopefully my MSP can help us out because they did seem very interested in helping me. So that's really good. Chameleon, I've heard a lot of people can import the medication from Iran. And that's quite interesting because I would go down that route. I would take illegally imported Iranian ADHD medication. God knows I've put fucking more suspicious stuff in my body in the past. If anybody can source me any Iranian ADHD Elvance, give me a shout, man. I don't feel bad about illegally trying to solicit that because I've went through conventional means and I've came up short because of a lack of resources in my local NHS. So if that means that I now need to illegally source medication from Iran, fucking so be it, man. If anybody can help me out with that, please get in touch. Also, anybody get any hash? I'm kidding on about the hash. I'm kidding on. I know where to get that. Anyway. I mean, while providing hundreds of hours of entertainment, if you're fundraising for your creative projects elsewhere, why not make the people you're entertaining aware of what you're working towards? Totally. No, I think crowdsourcing stuff is great. Like, if I'm on here and if I've got an idea for a big thing that I want to do, I want to make a new film to do with my music stuff or whatever, and I need $5,000 to do it or $10,000 or something, and if I think there's enough people that want me to do that thing, 100%, I definitely would. 100%. Because that's why we're all here, is to have all the creative projects done. But I was just saying it feels a bit strange doing that for like an ADHD assessment. I'm not saying I'm not going to do it. I'm just like, made me pause for thought of just like, how did we get here? How did we get here? I have health insurance through my work and I was thinking of using it to pursue an ADHD diagnosis. But it just seems like a pure huge thing I can't be bothered with. Bit of catch-22. Most people who are ADHD, who are pursuing a diagnosis, have difficulty just with the most basic part of it. Filling the forms in, starting the process, fucking finding out who you need to speak to, getting all the stuff, attending the things. Because all of that, is stuff that people with ADHD often have trouble with. So if it's hard enough to go through all of that as it is, and then on top of that, all the assessment places are getting shut down and things, like, it's fucking bogus. But I'll read out later on when I'm downstairs. Remind me to read out the letter that I wrote to them, because it was a good fucking letter, man. I was referencing like the World Health Organization's take on ADHD. I was like citing Scottish health boards as to why it's like a genuine thing, and I was saying it was discriminatory for people who can't afford to go private to not have it. And it fucking is, man. Because if this medication is life-changing, like, I should be able to have it. Pay my taxes, I'm a nice reasonable man, you know? Anyway, and if all of that doesn't work, see if it gets to the point where I'm just fucked and they're like, no, sorry, there isn't any opportunity. I'm very sorry, but thanks for getting in touch. If it gets to that point, then I will record a song that involves all the letters ADHD, GP, MSP, BTT, V3, E3, Hyper, Turbo. I'll record a song and I'll send them the song. And surely at that point they'll be like, aye, this cunt's mental, man. Give him pills. Somebody get this man pills. I can't be fucked with this. This is a lot of shite. Hyper Turbo, aye. I want some Hyper Turbo Eckies, please. Here, pal, have you get any Dando pills? Some yellow Benteens? Oh, B. Dolan, so that you know, when you're playing that drug game in chat, I will often talk about yellow Benteens or Clarky Cat or Triple Sod or whatever else, and all of that is a reference to Brass Eye. And you should be familiar with Brass Eye if you aren't already. It's a UK satirical news show that likes of which will never be made ever again, probably, because it was so funny and actually good back when telly was good. So basically there was a guy undercover apparently trying to buy drugs in London, but he was just like ripping the piss out of the drug dealers, like asking them for stuff that doesn't exist, like drugs called Clarky Cat. The guy's like, I don't know what Clarky Cat. You what, mate? There we go. There we go. There we go. I've seen it, but also keep smoking drugs. Aye. So that it doesn't go in. Hello, Time Tide. In my country, in the East Midlands of England, ADHD isn't diagnosed due to lack of resources, funding, etc. It's devastating, and I think you're an inspiration for getting that letter written. Thanks very much. I mean, I think I'm exactly the same here. I think all over the country, there's a shortage in medication. So instead of just saying that, they're just refusing to diagnose people, because you don't need medication unless you've been diagnosed. Which is some like fucking like a weird strategy in it. So I think we're on the same page. I don't suppose my MP will provide any real insight or whatever, but I thought we might as well try and pursue this. And all the very best of respect to anybody going through anything similar, because these whole journeys can feel just really alienating, can feel very lonely. And I was out of options other than going private, as I said, but going private's like, you know, prohibitively expensive. Boy, what a difference the pills made though. Like, I literally could breathe easier and stuff, you know. Mr. Mediocrity, how you doing, man? Mr. Mediocrity, thanks very much for subbing. Don't get to watch as often as I would like. Still the most interesting stream online. Mr. Mediocrity, thank you very much. Thanks very, very much. Welcome, man. How you doing? Thanks for supporting me. I really love that I get to do this with my life. I feel really privileged, and thanks everybody for coming in and for watching me. I really love this. My pal's band back in the day were called the Yellow Bentines. In high school. Okay, that looks good. I'm kind of happy with that. Aye, Rhinoceros, well, medication isn't necessarily the ultimate goal, you know what I mean? So an assessment can... here's the deal, right? See if you're neurodivergent, which most of us are. Or, well, us as in my Twitch chat, we seem to sort of group together. I would say a lot of us might be or are at least the ones who are vocal, right? So an assessment for ADHD doesn't necessarily mean that you want to be medicated, right? I personally do, because I legally tried these medication, and it's fucking brilliant, man. It helps me, right? But not everybody needs that. However, the big advantage of getting an assessment, from my understanding, is that if you're neurodivergent, you might have blind spots. So you might be autistic and say, oh, well, I'm fine because I can work around things. You might have made... Like, you might have... I'm not talking about you, just talking in general. One, right? If you have ADHD or if you're autistic or whatever, you might have developed solutions that means that you don't perceive the difficulty that you do have with various things because you've sort of worked around it. And you might also have blind spots where you don't know that you will have difficulty in certain areas. And so if you can speak to a registered like proper therapist or clinician or whoever, whatever name it is, it's their job to identify if you do have blind spots or if you might need extra support here, there, or you know, wherever. And I think that is a big advantage of it, because it's just like a different sort of brain into it. And so if you've got the right medical professional, they can talk to you and help you. Sometimes it's like you can't... Imagine trying to read a billboard, right, but you're this close to the billboard. You can't read it. But if there's somebody standing 20 feet back, they can tell you exactly what it says. So, a lot of our own bullshit, we can't self-monitor and govern because it's us. And so, a big part of assessment is having somebody who knows what they're doing help you navigate all that sort of stuff. And medication is just one outcome, you know. I think there's often a stigma with it, but it's a bit different than, like, I don't know. I mean, I would take it tomorrow. See, if they offered it to me, I would take one pill a day for the rest of my life if I could afford it. It really helped me. It was great. It helped even just, like, mental clarity, my ability to be expressive, my ability to choose the correct words. I mean, effectively, I'm on mild speed, right? Which is maybe a big part of it as well. But 10 out of 10, man, really enjoyed it. Would tan again. Mr. Mediocrity, once again, thanks very much for subbing. So masking and coping strategies and stuff, and quite often your coping strategy, like one's coping strategy, you might have been implementing it for so long that you don't even know that it is a coping strategy. To you, that might just be life. And so often it's helpful to have support in that area via qualified experts, rather than just fucking listening to TikTok or some guy, a Twitch streamer. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Anyway, but all the very best, everybody. All the very best about all this sort of stuff. Anyway, it looks like I have now potentially installed the limit switch for the Z-axis of my 3D printer. That's thrilling, isn't it? So Mon will go over and we will see what the next steps is. Shall we do that? I'll go over and we'll do that. Right, so let's see what we've got here. So the bit that I've just installed here is a switch, and that switch gets activated when this thing here comes down and hits it. However, I can't remember if this limit switch is the correct limit switch for what it is that I need to do. So I'm going to have to like lower this very carefully and tentatively and make sure that none of this hardware like collides with anything. You don't want a crash. I'm not entirely convinced this is the right thing because I've modified this 3D printer multiple times. And honestly, who knows, man? Who knows if this is the right thing? So let's put this back sort of over here. And I don't think that's going to interface with it. Oh, it might do a wee bit because there's like a sticky outy bit. What I need to do is plug in this here. So we'll get that plugged in. Oh, come on. Is that the right way around? If Rachel doesn't come back soon, we're looking for a guy in full camo with a Union Jack patch. There we go. Right, so that's plugged in, and then I'll just push this down here a wee bit and try and sort all the cables out. Oh, that looks good. Then I might need to unplug this. So I don't know what these are called. Is it XTC connectors? It's kind of like a DIN connection. I bought some recently and it just said like aircraft connectors. These things are kind of cool. So I'll plug that in there now that I've put it over all the wires. And doing this with one hand's a bit of a pain in the arse. So I'll plug that in. There we go. Boom shakalaka. Okay. So that's us, more or less up and running. Next thing I need to do is apply power. Although actually before that, we should probably connect the Raspberry Pi. So that shouldn't take too long to do. And then I'll get some power over. Ditto for Rust. What do you mean? Was I talking about Rust? Mushrooms, not Rust. Why are we talking about Rust? I've done the sort of thing where I was speaking about a million things and I forgot what I was speaking about 2 minutes ago. Were we talking about Rust, the video game? Did I do a Freudian slip and speak about Rust? I forgot what we were talking about, lads. My brain is going. Okie dokie, let's get the lamp on for you here so we can see what we're doing. There's a tiny wee sort of industrial USB webcam, and that's just put into this Raspberry Pi. The Raspberry Pi is controlling the 3D printer because the 3D printer's kind of dumb, right? It's not web enabled. But this is a Raspberry Pi. It's like a small computer. Hold on, I've got a bit of cramp in my foot. There we go. That's me all done. So basically, apparently, I'll just put this sideways like that. Let's just do that for the time being. And then I think I need to uninstall this for here. So this is a small rig camera holder. And so I'll connect that up there like this, and that means that the cable can fit into the Raspberry Pi. Let me undo that, and then let me do this. Right, so all of that's good, and then I'll tighten that up there. So let's say the camera in approximately a good location. Let's put the plug up there. Let's then take the Raspberry Pi. I need to wire up the fan of the Raspberry Pi as well, but let's just do it without the fan installed. We will throw caution to the wind. And so We need power for the Raspberry Pi. That goes in here. Doop. And then the Pi just interfaces via USB. Like, yes, it went in. Did it go in first time? No, I don't think it did. Upside down. I hate USB. It did, it was right first time, and then I unplugged it. Universal my arse. Okay, I mean, is that even in right? It doesn't seem like it's in right. But I don't want to force it. So let's put that there. And then this plug, we need power. So I need 2 bits of power. In addition to that, on the underneath, I have installed a light. So up in there, I've put a light, and that needs power as well. So that's mains powered. Oh no, that's for that. So this is actually for the light. It's not for the 3D printer. So let's plug this in, if I can. Am I going to be able to do this without undoing it all? Come on, you can't. Come on. Oh yeah, piggy. Right, there we go. Plug it in, doing the job, yes. Right, so that's in nice. And then that can go over here. And all that's good. So that's for the light. Which means though, we don't have power for the 3D printer. Let's see, I think that's a kettle lead. Kettle lead's 3 pins. Man, I really hope I don't need to move house soon. Imagine that. I think I would just cry. I think I'd just move it all. Anyway. Thank you, Rewild. I had a lot of time recording that. Just a screw lock and din. Americans often wrongly call them Tuchels after a popular brand. Interesting. Set to build, I did play Rust, but that was the old me. And too many dramas later, I think Rachel would leave me if I joined another Rust server. But it's one of my most favourite games in the world ever. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Chucky Salad says, as an Aussie, I approve of the word cunt. Aye, the word cunt here is just like really versatile. It's very very offensive in some countries, but the word cunt here can just mean person. You know? Who you talking about? That cunt there? No, that cunt down there. What, that cunt, the wee girl? No, the cunt behind them. It just means like person. Oh, very versatile word. So power. So here are all my cable areas, right? And I've got yep, there we go. That's job done. Look at how easy it was for me to find the right cable there, because I've taken the time to organise them into nice boxes. Look at that, that's time well spent. Look at that, imagine it took me a bit, and we've got a wee Velcro strap. Look at that. That is a sign of somebody that's got all their shit figured out, man. Look at that. See me of 5 years ago? Oh, that would have taken me 4 days to find. And when I did find it, it would be all tangled up and it would be a big mess and everything would be rubbish. But not me of the present. I've got that shit all figured out, man. I've got my life in order, mate. Anyway. Okie dokie, let's turn this upside down. Let's put this in here. Oh, sorry if you can't quite see what I'm doing. I'm sorry, I've got a phone strapped to my head. Oh, I maximum respect Australia. There we go. So we've now got 3 plugs. I need to plug them in. Oh, I'm very lucky to have this this room up here 100%. Like, ever since I was a child, all I wanted is a workspace, a place to work. And I've been through some really tiny flats that were filled with mould and everything like that. And the best thing that I did is move away from the city, and for the same price that I was paying for renting a tiny 2-bedroom stinky flat, we've got a house that's got a garage. Granted, the garage is filled with mould, so I can't really use it, but we've got more space than ever. And see, just being able to unbox stuff, because I've been carrying boxes for location to location to location, being able to just unbox stuff, oh, it's changed my life. It has changed my life. Okay, lads, so in here is a contaminated evil space, because in here is my resin 3D printer, and that resin, if it's uncured, is nasty stuff. So what I'm going to do is put my gloves on, and we're going to find a power supply, and then I think we'll just bathe it in a wee bit of UV light to cure any splashes of resin that might be on it. Like this here is cured resin, you see that? Probably not. But there is a power supply in here, as evidenced with this, and I want to take that power supply the other side of the room to power my 3D printer. I don't think I'll be able to come up with a solution that'll mean that I can have everything powered at the same time. But I don't think I will ever want to be using all my 3D printers concurrently. But I might be wrong. I think I need the larger gloves. What do you think, folks? Honestly, my hands are massive. Like big shovels. Right. So this is a Elegoo Saturn, something like that. But that's not why we're in here. We're in here because behind here is a power supply. So I'm going to remove all these plugs. Uh-oh. Need to spend some time into tidying all of this back up because I've neglected it, and it's a really nice thing, so it deserves to be all tidy and in good working order. Right, I mean, it doesn't look as if I've spilled any. I have spilled a wee bit of stuff on that. So what I need to do is bathe this in UV light, and as it happens, I've got a UV light pen. I've got this. And in order to switch that on, see if I can remember how to do it, I need a plug from, I really don't want to spill this, that would be hellish. Let's put that in there, and let's put this up here like that. All this stuff's sort of fallen down, and I would like to take some time to get it all looking good again. I've got a dedicated bin for contaminated resin, because it's important to be responsible if you're dealing with stinky substances that can damage wildlife and stuff. Right, so that plugs in there. So basically one of these plugs in, and when it does, I can use that pen to cure any resin that might be on the power supply, thus decontaminating it, thus making me comfortable taking it over to the other side of the room. But This is heavy fucking complicated. I don't like this mini game. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. And this is quite good because I've been meaning to do this for a long time. Okay, so if we plug this in, right, then this pen here, yep, is UV, and I should be wearing eye protection, so I don't have any currently. Actually, I think I do. Yes, I do. However, I can't put it on my face because that hand is contaminated. But now I've removed the glove, I can put on this eye protection that will protect me from the UV pen, because UV can hurt your eyeballs. So let me put on these goggles, because it's important to use correct PPE, especially if you're live streaming, because I want to set an example to people. So I can't really see, but I can, right? So this light here is UV, and that will cure any resin that happens. See if I just sort of blast this power supply with some UV light, particularly over areas that I will touch. Well, everywhere actually. And again, this is just a precautionary sort of vibe, but what I'll end up doing is just taking it out in the sun for about 10 minutes. This feels like I'm doing some sort of ritual, like a bit of magic or something. But it's legit, man. This can cause me some skin irritation or worse if I don't do it. So, like, I can see wee bits where resin might be on there. So I'll just sort of give it a wee blast. Oh, fuck. Did you hear that? Oh, I shot myself. A bee just fucking came out of nowhere and flew right towards my head. Don't know if that picked up on stream, but that was horrible. Are we back with the bees? I think bee season is back. I don't know if it was a bee or a wasp. I hope it was a bee. Right, let's say I'm happy with that. Fuck it. That's more than what your average person would have done. And then let's do that. And then let's take off my glasses and I'll put them back over here. And let's go and investigate that bee. Did you see him? Oh, it shot me up good. So now this is sort of decontaminated. I say decontaminated, just the resin that might be on it is now maybe cured. My God, did that bee frighten anybody else? Fucking absolutely shut me up. Big Taff Man, how's it going, Big Taff Man? Thank you very much for subbing. Welcome in, Taff Man. It was wonderful to have you here. Absolutely brilliant. Thanks very much for subbing. Sorry, I was in the middle of stuff there, so didn't immediately see your sub. But welcome in, man. 4 days, 2 breakdowns, maybe a head shave, and then 3 weeks off Twitch. 100% base embrace. Hopefully, if I get these power pills, I won't have to take 3 weeks off Twitch every now and again. Non-binary says, I have a dad joke you may like. Did you hear that the company that makes yardsticks won't be making them any longer? Yardsticks? I don't get it, non-binary. It's over my head. My head's filled up with loads of things. The company that makes yardsticks? I don't know. But thank you very much. I can't use my garage because there's so many gaps for birds to build nests and shit everywhere. It's brutal, isn't it? As a fellow shovel-handed resin printer, get Unigloves. Oh, aye. Unigloves Black Pearl XL Nitrile. Okay, thanks very much. Hello, wee shed. I'm not going to remember that. But I want them. Did you see that big bee? Absolutely shit my pants. Fill the attic with resin fumes to kill the potential bees. Well, it might have been the UV light or something it was attracted to. Cosmo says, I've never been stung by a bee and my grandmother was extremely allergic, so I'd like to not find out the hard way. It'd be wonderful if you could find an easy answer to that. Good luck, though. Good luck. Right. Power. Get this powered on. After it's powered on, we will have a wee look and we will see if it all works and stuff like that. Because I've no idea even the web address to go to get my big 3D printer up and running. So let's get it all powered on and then we can take it from there. How does that sound? So I'm going to go over here. I forget what the name of that software is. Is it Clipper? I think Clipper is installed on this. Boom, power. Boom, additional power. And then lastly, boom, a wee bit of power. So now, with that plugged in, I can hear power going through some stuff. Sort of high-pitched whine of a transistor. And now if I turn that on, we have light. And the Raspberry Pi, I wonder if that's on. It's on. And then the 3D printer is now on. And I can see that BL Touch has just depressed, so that's good. Amazing. So immediately it's 23 degrees on both thermistors. So that's all good. I think we've kind of got it up and running. Will it print successfully? Of course it won't print successfully because this thing's bloody massive, so it needs constant adjustment and prayers and all of that sort of stuff. But I think that's almost a good goal for the end of the stream. However, what I want to do is go downstairs, see if I can log into this Raspberry Pi, and if I can log into the Raspberry Pi, I want to make sure that I can move it all, and I want to make sure that I can look through this wee camera. So, let's go and do that right now. To the downstairs zone. And we might even bump into some dogs along the way. Dun 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 dun, going downstairs. We're going downstairs to the downstairs zone to look at 3D printers and other cool stuff. Going down the stairs. Aye, where were we, lads? Where were we? Hiya. Let's get all the lights on. Hi folks, how's it going? Right, don't wait the now, I don't have any of my alerts set up. I nearly rubbed my face with maybe resin on my hands. I've not washed my hands yet. So I'll do that. Oh, well that was a lot of fun, wasn't it? Try to set up a 3D printer. I really enjoyed that. Big Taffman, thank you very much. And Mr. Mediocrity and Rhinoceros and Meatballs, thank you very much. Mr. Mediocrity, this is your bubble blast. There should be a bubble blast right now. I don't want to press it twice. Who knows? I need to have a wee look at these bubble blasts. They're not really behaving themselves, and that's a wee shame. Null. I'll press it again, because Taft deserves one too. So now, what I want to know is, was that the first bubble blast? Because I pressed the button twice, blast me once. That's the second one there, Mr. Mediocrity. Thank you very much for subbing. Big Taffman, thanks for subbing. And Satalo Disco, thank you very much for subbing. These are all absolute legends. Welcome in. How you doing? If you're just joining us, we were upstairs trying to sort a 3D printer. I think it's mostly sorted now. But in order to figure it out fully, I want to see if I can log into Clipper. So Clipper is the software that I use to make the 3D printer work and stuff. And there's like a phone application, isn't there? So, I mean, it might be in like my web history. How do I find my Clipper URL? I wonder if there's a short... Hold on, I named that 3D printer something, didn't it? Like the big thing or something. Maybe I could go on to... I've got software for my Wi-Fi router. And so that'll tell me all the clients that are currently connected to my network. I can't see any clients connected to my network that would look like a 3D printer. There is something just called Printer, but I think that's a 2D printer. So let me type in the IP address for that. 192.168. Oh my god, I nearly just doxed my IP. Connection's not private, it's fine, let's go. Aye, that's a Hewlett Packard printer, so that's a lot of shite. Let's see if there's anything else that could be my printer connected to the stuff. No. So maybe what I need to do is just like reinstall Clipper. Oh, S5, that's us. That's us. I think we're good now. 68.67. Boom shakalaka, look at this folks. Look at this. So it's kind of rotated, but that there is the thing. Will I go into webcam here? Can I rotate this? Settings. Webcams. Edit. 90. Yep, there we go. Let's hide the FPS counter as well. Look at that. So now we can see a live feed of the big 3D printer. That's great. And then let's make sure that the Raspberry Pi can interface. Yep, because I'm able to see the temperatures here. So that means the Raspberry Pi is talking to the 3D printer successfully. So that's really good. So I'm not using Octoprint here. I moved to Clipper because it's got input shaping, which is good. And let's see if I can just move the bed from here remotely. I don't want to home everything because remember that switch here might not be in the right position. So let's see if Y will home, although it might crash. Do you know X is fairly innocent. So let me home X. Well, it definitely moved. And then let me... Aye, there you go. Look at that. I can make that move about. Oh, that's good gear. Look at that. We've got a 3D printer back up and running. I'm very happy with that. It's moving about and it's doing everything great. There's a way that I can get the output of this directly into my Twitch feed. You know, that webcam. But I'll have a wee look at that later on because it would be good if there's a printer running to just be able to see it on the output. I'm really happy with that. I'm really happy with that. I think that's a good day's worth of work. Cool. So what I need to do is, and I think I'll do it sooner than later because that's 4:30. But I will. I need to go and buy wee clips because I've got a big bit of glass that goes over this bed, right? And all I'm using to clip it on is just like stationary clips, used for paper or whatever. So I think I'll go to the post office just now and see if they sell them. And then that means maybe I can get some 3D prints up and running tonight. But there we go, everybody. That's everything that I wanted to achieve today. I'm really happy with that. I'm really happy with that. And now I can start to do... the build plate's down here. The build plate is just the other side of here. It's a big bit of glass. And I need those clips to clip it on. So I will go and I will do all of that sort of stuff. However, when I'm doing that, you can't be watching me because I need to go out the house to do that sort of stuff. So I tell you who you can watch instead. It's sort of one of my most favourite people of all time, but maybe playing a game that I'm not particularly, I've not really vibed with quite yet. But Cater Cakes is a fucking legend, man. So we are all going to go over and we're going to raid Cater Cakes, who's sound as fuck, and it's wonderful to see Kate back streaming again, because Kate's one of my most favourite streamers in the world, and she's back and she's streaming right now. So let's go over, give Kate a big 10:30 hello. Listen, everybody, thanks very much for coming in. My name's James Houston, and Houston's boosting. Meatball says, reminder, shopping list. Check if you have clips suitable for the build plate. Check the point on the Z-axis in case the endpoint switch is not the correct one. Consider frequency filter for stream mic to drop out frequency range of printer. That's a good one. I'm going to copy all that. Meatballs, thanks for remembering at the end of the stream as well, so I can put that into a notepad. Did you just hear a bloop bloop? I just heard a bloop bloop as if I got a notification for somewhere, but I don't know where it went. XL Black Nitrile gloves, 100%. I'll add that as well. Let me copy paste that. Listen, everybody, my name's James Houston, and Houston's boosting. But before I go, it's time for the magic trick. Here's a magic trick. If that blue bloop was because something just happened on stream, I've missed it. I don't know what it is. Here's your magic trick. See you later, folks. Bye. Bye. Love yous. Thanks for coming in. Might stream tonight. Maybe not. Maybe not. See you later.